And we are live. Welcome everyone to episode 70 of Coaster Time. As always, I am your host, Kara Gilligan, and today we are also joined by a returning guest who is none other than Jace from 808 Coaster Life. Jace, it's great to have you here. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Have been having a very busy summer recently. It's just a busy year generally. Lots of schoolwork and also like getting internships and stuff like that. So kind of hard for me to upload on my personal channel. I apologize for that. But hopefully there should be some more content coming out for the rest of the summer, and I'll try and upload when I can. For those of you who don't know, I'm Jace, and I run 808 Coaster Life. I am a coaster enthusiast who's from Hawaii, or born and raised in Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii right now. Uh, I don't have the coaster count of other enthusiasts, but hopefully that means I have a slightly different perspective. So if you're into that, feel free to check my channel out.
Absolutely. And I do have Jace's links all in the description. And also recently released the Six Flags Magic Mountain top 10 video, so I would
Yeah,
definitely recommend checking that out. I also see Knexpert and Michael in the chat. Hello, hello. And with that
welcome,
being
welcome.
said, we will go into our blind ranking North American Park Challenge. Jace here has actually done a few of these, like in practice. If you've watched the Instagram stories, the last one was the most brutal thing ever. I mean, some of the worst luck I've ever seen in terms of a draw. So hopefully, for both of our sakes, we get a little better one. But
Fingers
for those,
crossed.
yeah, for those of you unfamiliar, I'm not doing the block zone spiel, but the blind ranking park challenge here. This is going to be of North American parks. Basically, me and Jace, we're going to be competing to blind rank 10 parks each. The parks we are picked are determined by a random wheel consisting of 100 parks. We will alternate between picks and have time to explain our thinking and do a bit of research into the parks that we're looking at. You as the chat can get involved and give suggestions and info about parks that maybe we're not as knowledgeable about, or you've been to, or you know some information about. You can help in that way. And then at the end, the winner of this competition will be determined by you, as you will be able to vote on whose blind ranking is more accurate. I will also post these lineups on Instagram after the stream is done. So, with that out of the way, I do have the wheel right here. There it is in all its glory. And then, Jace, give me a number between 1 and 10.
6.
Alrighty, I'll shuffle 6 times. And then I will go first for the wheel spin. So this will be for the first park in my blind ranking. And we get Alabama Adventure. So this is an independent park out in Alabama. They are known for having Rampage. Obviously, I know Rampage is under renovation right now, but we'll kind of assume that it's open for this case, because obviously if it wasn't, that would, I mean, it probably wouldn't be here, to be honest.
Or at least number 10.
Yeah, so it is more so a water park than an amusement park. Um, so there is that to consider. Pretty small amusement rides lineup, but I've generally heard like solid things from people who've been here, but it's just not, it doesn't really offer a whole lot in terms of rides. So I am going to stick it at 9 and we'll go from there. Hawaii does not have any coasters, sadly, Knexpert. I
At
see
least
the
not any permanent
question.
ones. There's one traveling one, but uh, it only shows up like for a small amount of time.
But if you are asking if Jace has ridden any coasters in Hawaii, he has, just traveling ones, as he's mentioned.
Yes, I have. They kind of rotate, or what was it? We've had a few like small traveling coasters in the past. It wasn't just like one that like just keeps on coming every year. Uh, right now, Maui does not have any traveling coasters. I looked at the Maui
Oof.
Fair lineup, which is coming back this year, but Jungle Twist is unfortunately not on that list. Doesn't mean it's not gone entirely. I haven't confirmed that yet, but not coming to Maui, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but they have a lot of other rides, so certainly plenty for people to do. This is going to be for your first park, this spin here.
Oh boy. Please better luck.
And get Six Flags
Okay.
Great Escape.
Not a bad park. I know they got a recent, pretty nice addition in Bobcat. I would put it. Comet is a pretty good classic Woody, from what I heard. I think they have like a mine train. Is the bobsled coaster still operating?
No, it is not.
Okay, so I guess you can't count that.
It
But
was taken out right before Bobcat.
oh right, okay, I see. I'd say I'm guessing it's probably nicer than other smaller parks, so I'm gonna put it at a solid 7.
All right. Adirondack Outlaw, I've also heard is arguably their best ride there, according to Mark from Coaster
Oh
Dash.
right,
So,
that's the booster ride, right?
yeah, right by the side of the cliff. So,
Boosters are
um,
great. I've ridden one of those.
and it does have the Storyland or the storybook theming still, at least a little bit of it. So, I heard it's pretty charming as well. So, that seems definitely like a solid spot. All right, here's the next wheel spin. And ooh boy. Okay, Dollywood. This is one of my personal favorite parks. It is very early into the ranking. And actually, funnily enough, last time I got some really good parks early and top loaded my list too much. So it's a little bit of a potentially similar situation here. However, honestly, there's probably only 5 parks on the list, maybe 6 if that I'd feel comfortable putting above Dollywood. So I think the chance of me getting something better isn't very high. I think it is a worthy number one. So I'm going to put it there. Amazing food, really awesome atmosphere with that southern charm and the wooded setting. The coaster lineup is obviously fantastic, headlined by Lightning Rod. Hospitality is incredible as well. So a lot of great aspects of Dollywood. Definitely worth a number one spot there. Here's your next one.
Like someone said in the chat, it won the Golden Ticket Award.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. That's another really good park, and I've actually been to this one. Oh gosh. What are the chances of me getting something better than it? Probably not too likely. It's between 1 and 2 for me. I don't know. Because I'm like, what parks would be better than Hershey Park? I guess there'd be something like Cedar Point or Magic. Oh, I don't know. I have to think about whether Magic Mountain is better than Hershey Park. Definitely, maybe some of the Disney parks might be a little bit better just for different reasons. Universal parks too. Maybe Busch Gardens parks are a good competitor. I would say, but their coaster lineup, especially right now, is top notch. Like, even better than when I went. So I'm gonna risk it. I'll put it at number 1.
All right, so we both have pretty strong number one, so that puts this in a very interesting position. One of the best coaster lineups in the country. I had some good food there as well, and so definitely some very good aspects to Hershey Park, and definitely a respectable number one there. And the next park I'm gonna get is Seabreeze. This is actually I think underrated park in New York area. They have Jackrabbit, which is over 100 years old, and then one of the oldest steel coasters in bobsleds, which looks pretty sick. I believe they have a Mauer spinner as well, and they also have a lot of classic attractions. I'm just gonna pull up their lineup here, actually, see if I'm missing anything like super major in terms of flats they have. They do have like looks like some sort of like inverting flat ride like it's Imperial Hawk, but I don't know if that's actually what it is from this picture. Um, but yeah, basically, I think probably the coasters I mentioned are probably the main ones that stick out here. But it does have like a lot of classic attractions as well, being as old as it is. I'm gonna put this at a respectable spot. I'm gonna put this at 7. So yeah, that'll be where I put Seabreeze. Alrighty, here
Next
is your
one.
next one.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting one. Can we assume? I guess Steel Curtain's open right now.
Hmm.
Um, let's see, because they have a really good one-two punch, and I heard the park's like pretty charming. I don't know how it's running recently, but last I heard it was running pretty nicely. They have like some classic Woodies as well, especially Jackrabbit looks like a lot of fun. Um, I'd say, well, it's probably better than Great Escape. Sorry, Great Escape fans. I'd say probably. Hmm. I'm gonna put it as I can tell Carrick's kind of suggesting where I should put
Oh,
it.
I didn't realize I had my
That's
hover
okay.
in.
That's okay.
I actually that would not be.
I was just joking. Let's put it at. I'd say. Hmm, I might get some good ones. Oh, I might get some bad ones as well. Let's say 5.
All right.
It's giving number 5.
That I think's a little bold, but alrighty. Um, yeah, no, very classic park. Actually, you mentioned Jackrabbit being one of their more interesting Woodies. I think Thunderbolt is also definitely up there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Um, and very nice coaster lineup. They have some interesting flats as well. A lot of rich history there, and definitely some upside now being in the Hershen chain. Seabreeze sells their season pass for $120, and it's not unlimited visits. That is not ideal. It is New York, though. All right, Dorney Park. Okay, I think I got. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I think I got Dollywood, Seabreeze, and Dorney Park all in my last. Um, in the last one we did, so that's kind of weird that I'm getting them again. And Dorney Park. I'm gonna stick it back in at 5. Just like I did with the last time. Seems to be a very well run park, and is going to obviously have a pretty solid coaster lineup. Their water park is definitely the thing that is the most popular. But what's nice about this park is it generally seems like most days of the year you can ride everything pretty easily and get re-rides without any issue. So that's kind of cool from what I've heard. Yeah, I'll put Dorney Park at a respectable 5.
Probably would put it in the same spot.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Oh gosh. um, I mean, yeah, they don't have the best ride lineup, but or at least the best.
I was about I was about to say
Sorry.
hold up. Coasters,
But
yeah, I agree, but rides, I'm like I don't know about that.
it's a really just well-rounded park. Like, the food is good. The theming is insane. They have some really good dark rides and some family coasters that are actually like really fun. In an upcoming segment, they might appear a bit for me. Uh, I would definitely put that at number 2.
Alrighty. I mean, this is my personal number 1 park, so your praise is certainly warranted in terms of the aspects it does well. I think the dark ride lineup, and honestly, I'm not afraid to say, yeah, the overall ride lineup I think is one of the best in the world, just considering that the dark ride lineup is, I mean, is the best I've experienced pretty darn easily. Um, and the coasters they do have are very fun. And I am a Space Mountain truther as well, so definitely very excellent park. They invented the theme park. I mean, as we know it today, yeah, definitely have to give them credit there. And now I'm gonna get Universal Studios Hollywood. That's funny.
Real competitors.
Back-to-back parks. Okay. Wow, that is an interesting one to get in this range. I want to put it at 3 because I genuinely do very much enjoy this park. Um, but I think the perception of it in the general community is a bit lower, is the problem. Um, they don't have, it's a very quality over quantity ride lineup, and I know that a lot of the rides you can find at other Universal resorts. But the studio tour you can't, and I think that's the best thing they have there. I think it's one of the, it arguably is like up there with like the best attractions I've ever done. Forbidden Journey is also one of the best dark rides I've ever done as well. I haven't even been since they opened Super Nintendo World and Jurassic World and Secret Life of Pets, so they've added a lot since I've last been. Transformers is another excellent ride as well. So, Waterworld, one of the best theme park shows I've ever seen. So, what they have is excellent, even if their lineup isn't that large, and they're getting Fast and Furious next year, which will level them up pretty significantly. However, at this point, it is pretty early. No, nope, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it at 3. I was trying to convince myself not to, but no, it's going at 3. So
Fair enough. And I think this is probably pre Fast and Furious, I would assume.
yeah, but it is down the pipeline, so it's at least kind of worth consideration. But it's like not impacting the thing much. Next, you have
Ooh.
Cliffs Amusement Park, home of New Mexico Rattler.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I've got this park in the practice round, or at least someone did. I think it might have been you. Oh gosh. Um, because New Mexico Rattler looks like a really good wooden coaster, especially someone who loves Ghost Rider. Um, they don't seem to have a lot besides that. I kind of want to. It's alright if I research a little bit
oh
into
yeah,
it.
you're good. They have a Galaxy coaster and I believe an SBF spinner is their coaster lineup. Outside of that, you can look at. I have I think the websites if you want to
Looks like
look at
they have
their
an air race,
flats. Yeah,
a
I
drop
believe so.
ride,
Oh yeah, they have a Larson drop tower, I believe. So that's pretty sick.
a Larson looper. Um,
Yep.
Not too bad of a park, although it kind of gives more uh like fair vibes besides New Mexico Rattler, I'd say.
Oh, they got a downdraft too. I forgot about that. That's kind of or
Yeah, the
whatever that one is. That yeah, that's
downdraft looks
sick.
kind of cool. I'll put that at. There's probably parks out there that might be worse, so I'm gonna give it like a 9.
Yeah, I that's probably what I would have went with. So definitely good spot there. Alrighty, number 2 just for Horror Nights. Yeah, Horror Nights could definitely be involved for Universal, putting it as high as it is. Uh, Park that won't be in that same conversation though is Little America. Uh, Kind of interesting park. They do have a cool looking train ride. They have, I believe, the only existing Herschel Mad Mouse nowadays. So that's pretty cool. They have a horrific chance toboggan that is
Oh god.
apparently really terrible. So uh, we're just gonna not factor that in here. And they have a little family wooden coaster. Um, Unfortunately, I am probably gonna have to put this park at 10. It does seem to have some charm, but just kind of compared to a lot of these other parks, it just doesn't have as much to offer, so I'm gonna put it at 10. So yeah. Alrighty. Here's your next park.
Oh boy.
This
We're
is
not getting
the
good luck recently.
this is the time where it
Oh my gosh. I watched the Coaster Dash live stream.
well,
um,
fortunately for you, it's not in as bad of a spot, at least. You got it at a time where you could afford to do it.
okay. I'd say, the ride lineup is probably not as there's probably not as many rides at ZDTs as Cliffs, but I would say Switchback might be better than New Mexico Rattler just for being more unique. Although I don't know, New Mexico Rattler has a good layout, at least for CCI standards. I think it was CCI's last coaster too before going bankrupt. Um, I'm gonna put it at. Uh, I'm gonna give them forgiveness points because they're closing. I'll put them at number 8.
I guess that's fair. There is that tribute factor because this is literally the last time they're ever going to be on here.
Possibly.
So
That might be another stream.
I don't think there will be another guest stream by the time. We'll see, but I'm doubting that there will be by the time this thing closes in like 3 weeks.
Oh my god. Yeah, bro.
So, uh, like, there is your ZDT's tribute. Rest in peace. I've heard good things about it. So that is unfortunate. Oh boy. And this is one of those
Oh,
parks I was concerned about showing up. That being said, like I think it isn't too crazy to have it underneath Dollywood. So Kings Island's gonna go at 2. Best operations I've seen at a regional theme park. Um, so, there is that amazing coaster lineup, even though a lot of people say they don't necessarily have that elite coaster. I mean, Beast is one of my all time favorites at night. Mystic Timbers is also one of my favorite wooden coasters ever. Orion is, I think, an underappreciated Giga coaster, and probably more so the YouTube community than overall, just based on the Vote Coasters poll, but still, definitely an excellent park. Um, Great fireworks show when I went as well. So Kings Island definitely going to be up there with the absolute best.
getting a lot of good reviews in recent years.
I mean, I prefer Cedar Point, so and that's becoming more common. So, well, you get
Ooh.
Carowinds. All right,
Okay,
that's a
another Paramount Park
interesting one.
or
Yeah.
former Paramount Park. And also formerly Cedar Fair Park. Let's see. Oh gosh, Carowinds may not have like the absolute quantity of coasters that like Hershey Park has, for example,
Or you
but
mean quality? They
or
do have the
quality either. Yeah,
I think they have around the same quantity, but quality wise.
that's true. But what are the chances of me getting something better than Carowinds? I'd say not too likely. I don't know. They have a really good top 4. But yeah, like you said, the lineup kind of drops off. And there's not too much like theming in the park besides that. Besides Copperhead Stripe. Um,
Hmm.
ooh, I'd say Fury 325 looks amazing. I'm gonna give it. Let's put it at number 4.
Okay.
If they have more rides with theming and they maybe add another like solid supporting coaster, they might go to number 3. But for now, I'd say number 4.
Alrighty, that's fair. Especially because of where you put Kennywood, I think that makes a lot of sense. So I can definitely agree with that. No, no, no. Oh no.
Well,
Wow, that my list has been blown up. Um, Islands of Adventure. I mean, crazy that like the 3 elite parks I've gotten are also all ones I've been to and are all some of my personal favorites. I hate putting it at 4. I truly do. Um, I mean, that is a brutal draw. But I mean, also an incredible ride collection overall. Velocicoaster is one of the absolute elite coasters. Best combination of theming and a legitimately excellent coaster layout of any coaster I've ridden pretty easily. Hulk is an incredible B&M looper, one of the best B&Ms I've done. Spider-Man's an excellent dark ride. Hagrid's, even though it may have disappointed me a little bit, is still definitely still up there as one of the best like family thrill coasters I've done. And it goes beyond that. Forbidden Journey as well in the mix there. So yeah, definitely an excellent park. That was a tough draw.
yeah. Oh well.
Man. Okay. Oh? You're
Oh,
getting
another
the
part.
defunct list.
I'm getting the closing parts. Oh gosh. I'd say put at 6.
Okay.
Um, sorry, not as kind of a tribute as CDT's. But no way am I putting America over Carowinds.
That's fair. Um, yeah, I mean, just more so. I think because it's closing, probably not much time needed on it. So, um, Islands doesn't have horror nights. That is true.
Oh
That
my
might save the
gosh.
list. I'm kidding. No, it does not save the list. Um,
Does
okay,
any
Fun Spot
Universal Florida park
Atlanta.
cancel?
Oh boy, what spots do I have open? That is, yeah, that's gotta go at 8. And even then, I mean, it has Air Force One, and that is honestly basically it. The vibes of this park. I did watch some videos more recently, and yeah, I was just reminded that yeah, the vibes are not good. A lot of cracked walkways and such. Definitely feels like very fair-like, just in terms of like walking around and not like in a good way. Um, but they do have one of the best coasters in the world, so there is that, and you can rewrite it a bunch of times. So that's worth on almost any given day. So that is worth something. But yeah, it obviously yeah, definitely needs better presentation. I think if that could be worked on, it would uh, elevate the park probably a decent bit more, just based on what I've heard. Um, Already, Oaks
Hmm.
Amusement Park is your next
Okay.
one. What
You've been to
spots
this
have
one.
you? Yeah, what spots? So you either, well, I mean, I think you kind of only have one place to put it.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's going at 10. The
Yeah,
atmosphere doesn't look too bad.
it no, it actually it's a tiny park. But one with a lot of history. It's one of the older on the West Coast. They do have the oldest roller rink in the U.S., so that's kind of cool. Solid flat rights as well. They do have a Rocco plane, so that's pretty cool. Um, Along with Adrenaline Peak, which is a nice, especially for a park that is literally as tiny as it is. That is a very nice uh, highlight coaster. Um, but yeah, definitely just with that draw has to go at 10. So, alrighty. So this is the last park.
Oh no.
No. Wait.
Oh,
Okay. Well,
okay.
I can work with that. All right. All right. I got
For those of you
saved.
who couldn't tell, the other option was LaRonde.
Actually, to be fair, I don't. With this list, I think either one actually makes sense. But Worlds is Fun is probably a lot more like doesn't have as much negativity around it. So that probably helps out. Um, but I mean, yeah, it looks like a solid park. Prowler and Mamba looks like a really nice top two. They do still kind of have that different areas of the world theme, so that's kind of interesting. Another one with a large water park as well. So, uh, yeah, solid park, and probably makes sense honestly to slot in at 6. So this for your let me look number
Oh
3
no, my
spot.
number 3.
So
I
I
already
need
know this is.
this. I need this to be bad. I need it to be really bad. Oh my goodness.
Yay! To be fair, well, I guess that's a decent ranking. I don't know. I have to think about these parks a bit more because I've been to all three in the top 3, and I don't know how I would rank them.
I'm not gonna lie, yours legit I think almost looks like a it not quite it's like pretty darn close to perfect, and then I have islands underneath
Oh,
at 4, so I think you're gonna win. Between the two of us.
no, I'm just kidding.
This is insane. This is the second stream also where Insane Coaster Junkie had like needed his last 3 to fill out, and he needed a good number 1, and he got Magic Mountain. So I guess Magic Mountain is the good luck park, I guess.
Coming in clutch.
So I will put up the poll up here. whose blind ranking is more accurate. I think we all know the answer here.
Oh, I think one person might be ruined for you, at least.
I will check
Not
that
saying
in
they're
a
alone.
second. And then let's get that. But make sure to vote in the chat. Like I said, I'll also post this on Insta. But I mean, Iowans at 4 is, man, that is tough. Knexpert, I appreciate the support. But it appears to be in vain, as I already see that we have enough votes already in that, based on the viewership that I see on my screen right now, that you have definitely won. So I will crown Jace the winner of our blind ranking.
Out of curiosity, I couldn't see the actual like voting thing. What was the percentage distribution?
Oh, 80. You have 86, and I have 14%. Yeah.
I will say, character, your lineup is not bad, but besides
The Iowans
adventure.
killed me.
I'm
And I mean,
sorry.
that was, I mean, if I put Studios Hollywood at 4, even then, I think having Iowans under Kings Island, both Kings Island and Dollywood, probably would ding me a bit. But it would have been a lot more like, okay, that's like, that, I mean, it's still honestly not too bad. Like, these are honestly both probably some of the better ones we've gotten up to this point in terms of blind rankings.
For context, in the practice round, I think my top 3 was like Camden Park, LeBron, or something like that, and
Family Kingdom was in there.
Family Kingdom, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if LeBron was in the top 3, but
I don't remember. I can't remember what the other one was, but it was like insanely bad. So there you go. Your home park, Ulich Gardens, has still yet to show up 6 rounds into this thing.
Oh my gosh.
By the
Come
way,
on, we need some love for Ulich Gardens.
yeah, at least Magic Mountain isn't 9th for me. Well, I won that episode, is the thing.
Oh yeah,
because ZDT blew up Mark's list.
Mark, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but anyways, next we'll move on to a new segment, which is gonna be, or well, I say new segment as if this is gonna be reoccurring. This actually will probably not be a recurring segment, at least normally. But me and Jace are gonna be building our dream coaster lineups only out of coasters we have ridden. So like the basic scenario is, you can like think of it kind of Roller Coaster Tycoon Planet Coaster potentially style, but also just this scenario anyways. Maybe not really, but basically we have both been given the ability to create our own park made up of 20 coasters. This park exists in another universe or dimension that we have access to via a portal we can summon at any time for the rest of our lives. We can also take family and friends to this park if we are with them. So like if you want to have a party at your own park or whatever, you can do that, whatever. So, but you just have to be nearby. The people that you're bringing have to be nearby wherever you are when you summon the portal. However, the coasters we add to the park can only be ones we've experienced, and we assume they can't be changed once finalized. So which 20 coasters will we choose for our dream park? So that's basically the thing. Just have a few rules here. This is not a competition. No specific requirements. We'll alternate between the picks. We can have both of the same coasters in our lineups because we've ridden a lot of coasters that both of us have each ridden, if that makes sense. And defunct coasters can be added. So if you want to preserve something that is gone, you can do that. Coasters in a previous condition can be added if you've experienced. Example would be like, probably in your case, Buzzbar Comet. My case, like Launch Lightning Rod is eligible. Something like that. Dueling coasters are both sides in one slot. So Superman, Escape from Krypton, Lightning Racer, Gemini, that would be like one spot. And assumed themed coasters retain their theming, or naturally scenic coasters retain some semblance of their natural setting. So that's going to be that. Also, those of you in chat, if you want to like just make your own list or like just come up with coasters that you would put in your own lineup in this scenario, you can absolutely do that. Um, but with that being said, I will get to the list the parks. And actually, I probably should know, I think I did include it on here. There is a list of parks that both of us have been to. So, like, just scrolling over here, you can kind of see the list here. I think I got all of the ones for yours that that would make sense to include. But for Jace, all major Los Angeles / Orange County area parks. The top 3 NorCal parks, Hershey Park, Fuji-Q, Highland, Elitch, Guardians, and Tokyo Joypolis are the notable parks that you've been to. I think that covers it.
That
In my
covers, yeah,
case,
all of it.
all the major California parks, all the major Orlando area parks, top 2 Ohio parks, top 2 Oregon, top 2 Kentucky parks, along with Holiday World, Hershey Park, Dollywood, Port Aventura, over Georgia, Mexico, and over Texas. So if you are wondering why certain coasters don't make it, is probably because we have not ridden them. This is going to be different than a top 20, at least theoretically, because, if you were going to do this, I mean, some people might literally just throw their top 20 and call it a day. But at least I think we've kind of talked about it a little bit before the stream. There's going to be at least some semblance of balance in our lineups that may look different for each of us, but it's not literally going to be throwing our top 20s, at least I don't think. That being said, the first few are probably going to be some of our absolute best coasters, or my favorite. So, and welcome to the stream, Civilian Satellite, and Mason, saw you earlier, along with the Dementor, or Demonator. So yeah, I will get this started here with starting off my park. So I am just going to throw in my number 1 coaster here. Voyage from Holiday World is going to be part of this park. I think this would be great for a few reasons. I mean, Holiday World is actually kind of remote. So to get the other thing I'm kind of thinking about with this park is, it's going to be cool to take my friends and maybe enthusiasts who can't visit these parks and ride these coasters that may be a little more tricky to get to. And I think Voyage from Holiday World is one that potentially fulfills that. But it is my number 1 coaster, so it is going to be on here. Just amazing layout with just an insane amount of airtime, good laterals. The pacing is absolutely relentless, super long in duration. It's an absolute beast of a ride. So that'll be Voyage. What's your first pick, Jace?
All right. So Carrick and I both got to ride X2 together. And that was my number 1 for a while. Probably the best coaster in California. But within the past year, I happen to have ridden its Japanese sibling. So I'm putting Ajanike as my number 1.
No, totally.
Feel free to check my review out if you were curious, but I think the cliff notes for that, or I guess the chat GPT summary, is there's no dead spots on Ajanike, unlike X2. Some of the elements ride a bit smoother, although I would say smoothest generally is not any better than X2. And then some elements are just more intense on Ajanike versus X2, such as the Fly to Lies, that 0G roll, and the first Raven turn. Drop on X2 I'd say is a little bit better, but they're basically the same.
No, that's pretty good description of it. Still though, if you haven't checked out the review, make sure to check it out. I'm going to piggyback off of that and just add X2 in here right now. This would not necessarily be the next one, but I think this would probably be like the next most important one, just because it is. I mean, I haven't had the chance to ride a Janica, but this is a completely unique coaster for this side of the world. Basically, it has my all-time favorite moment with that first drop of any coaster out there. It does have some truly out-of-control elements, also in my theoretical one, I've ridden it with the audio and the fire effects.
Yeah.
Although you can just, because that's usually working and can get fixed, you could just assume that's working. But that would also be involved here. It's actually running up to snuff, basically. Yeah, definitely one of the absolute elite coasters out there. Provides a one of a kind experience in this, like I said, side of the world. So gotta include it on here. What's your next one?
Okay. So I'd say to maybe not balance out Age of Nika, but have something that delivers a pretty different ride experience. I'd probably go with something like an RMC hybrid. I've only ridden two of them, so I'll give my favorite one, which will be Twisted Colossus. That'll also give me a dueling coaster in the park. Uh, it has great airtime. Probably like the best airtime out of any coaster with a lap bar I've been on. um, whatchamacall? I've never ridden it while it was actually dueling, which I don't mind. I kind of expected that going in, and
We'll assume you can get dueling rides in your park.
yeah. Yay. I don't think I have much else to say for that. But yeah, very, very great, like well-rounded coaster.
I just want to go to chat because I saw a few things to go over this. Man, two of the craziest coasters I've ridden to kick off the lineups. I'll give 808 Coaster Life my dyno credit so he can have completion.
Oh my
There
gosh.
you go. That'd be funny. Will we add any family coasters or kiddie coasters? I will say I didn't actually have this fully planned out, so I'm going a little bit on the fly. I will just say from my standpoint, I'm not adding any kiddie coasters simply because in my, like, I'm just like, these are, to introduce someone to coasters, I'm like, I don't know, we'll just figure something else out. Like, I'm not going to waste a slot in my lineup to add a kiddie coaster. Family coasters, though, yes, I will have some in my lineup because I want to have some of those more crowd pleaser rides, and also when you're theoretically getting older, you want to have rides you can actually ride. So um, yeah, I will include
Not
family
think about
coasters. Not really. I will not include any kiddie coasters though. Jace, you want to answer this?
Which one?
Just if you're gonna add any family or kiddie coasters.
Oh, one kiddie coaster, and I'm gonna add a decent bit of family coasters. Like Carrick said, you're able to bring like your family and friends theoretically to this portal, and they may not necessarily want to ride Age of Nika, so you want to have something for them.
Yeah, no, that's kind of the same thinking. Like I said, the type of family coasters I think that I'll probably go. Like I said, I can't justify adding a kiddie coaster to like the 20 that's like gonna be the forever lineup. Even though there's one that's near and dear to my heart, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I could throw it in here. 20 SBF Visa spinners.
Oh my god!
But I think between the two of us, we've only ridden two, so.
I haven't ridden a single SBF Visa spinner.
So I guess I have those two.
Oh, and I have not ridden Mr. Freeze, so unfortunately, Mr.
Mason
Freeze
is
won't be appearing
referring
in my
to me.
Okay.
We'll
I
see.
figured.
We'll see. It might be in consideration. I'm not sure, but I'm not gonna promise it's gonna be in here. Like I said, I don't have this lineup like completely dialed down. I'm kind of doing this on the fly. So let's see. Next one. At this point, I am gonna throw Steel Vengeance in here. So my number 3 overall coaster. And it is kind of funny to have both Steel Vengeance and Voyage in the same park, just because Steel Vengeance stole the airtime record from Voyage. And they have some people do like to compare them in some ways, but I mean, I don't really care about that, to be honest. They're both elite, and they're definitely very much different enough rides from each other. I mean, the airtime on this is absolutely absurd. I love the way this ride also uses its structure in the second half. And like Voyage, it does have some of those larger elements that are excellent in the first half, and then it's a lot more rapid pace, smaller elements in the second half, which I absolutely love. So yeah, Steel Vengeance is gonna be the next one. What is gonna be your next coaster?
So for my next coaster, I'm gonna get a wooden coaster in here because I don't have one of those yet. I'm gonna add my favorite one, which is my wooden coaster lineup's not gonna be as good as Carrick's, but because I haven't been to like Six Flags Great America, Holiday World. Garrett already knows which one.
Sorry.
No, it's yeah, it's Ghost Rider. Knott's Berry Farm. Very well-rounded wooden coaster overall. Great laterals and some surprising moments of air. I haven't ridden it in a while, so I don't have the best memory of it. All I know is it's long. It's smooth for a wooden coaster, at least last time I remembered it. Airtime could be a bit stronger, but I think the last time I rode it, I was in row 8, so not the best row. I ran in the back before, and it was very good in the back.
Very good. I'm going to follow that up. I'm just going to throw Ghost Rider in my lineup too because I want it. So just piggyback off of that.
Why
I think
not?
you explained it pretty well. Of course, night rides are great. I guess hopefully we can get night in this park, in this universe or whatever. So that also definitely is something of note. But incredible airtime and some of the best laterals on any wooden coaster you'll experience. I did see a question about dueling coasters. They would be considered one spot. So like say a Gemini or a Lightning Racer, Dueling Dragons, if either of us had ridden it, I would have been able to consider that like a one slot thing because they're technically considered as like one attraction by the parks and by RCDB, even though they're two separate tracks. So yeah, they would have been considered for just one spot if any of those come up here. So there we have it. What is your next one?
So my next one is let's see. My next one's gonna be Railblazer, California's Great America. Not one of my. If I were to pick a dream park, it might not be like one of my first picks. But looking back at my rankings, I'm like that ride is bonkers insane. Strongest airtime I've experienced on a coaster. Period. So I'm gonna put it on there because I can.
For sure. Great American Coasters, nice to see you in the chat. Railblazer might make the list later. We'll kind of see how it sorts out, but it's definitely in consideration. Not seeing Stardust. Well, neither of us have ridden Stardust. To be honest, it very well could have made my lineup if I had, and I'm hoping to later this year. But unfortunately, it will not be on here because neither of us have ridden it. So
if I've ridden it.
Okay, so next one here. I think there's two of yours that like I think I'm at least gonna put in one of them, if not both of them in the lineup. I just don't know if I want to do that yet. I think I'll hold off because I think I want to get like probably some of the more obvious spots that I can think of out of the way. And that's gonna start actually with another Universal coaster and Velocicoaster. It provides obviously that theming that we don't necessarily have with these other coasters. Well, obviously outside of like X2 with like the onboard audio and stuff working, but even still, this is definitely a lot more of an immersive experience. It is one of my all-time favorite coasters as well. And the second half of the ride, the elements just hit like crazy. Some of the best inversions out there with that 0G stall that lasts forever, and the Mosasaurus roll that like literally gives you airtime somehow. And some very good ejector pops laid out throughout the ride. The first half has some very nice scenery as well, and even the queue and everything is very well done. So, very amazing overall experience. Velocicoaster comes in here at 5. Jace, what's your next one?
You know, I want to have a ride that goes under the track, so I'm gonna choose Tatsu.
All right.
Tatsu is a very fun coaster. For the first half, you really feel like you're flying, and so it's fun from that point of view. Pretzel Loop is, of course, bonkers, insane. I was I was kind of anticipating it, but still, it was definitely a very forceful element. I kind of wish the rest of the ride was a little more intense, but that's a very minor nitpick. Overall, very well-rounded coaster.
Yeah, it is absolutely excellent. That one will probably make the list later. I will just say, because you mentioned underneath the track, I was kind of thinking of that as well. I'm like, yeah, that is probably the top one I'm going to go with there. But we will see. Um, I'm actually not gonna pick the Beast. I'm gonna. I think the thing with the Beast is, I guess theoretically, even though I guess we could like transport the scenery, I think that ride, just the atmosphere of the people being there was, like, I think a big part of it. Like everyone like kind of figured it was special. I don't know necessarily that you can get the same vibe and everything from putting it at this theoretical park because it's so atmosphere based, if that makes sense. And it's not like themed either, like where it's like something that's like artificial. So I'm not gonna include Beast in here for that reason. Also, it like I mean it is only, I think, elite at night is the other thing. So there's that to consider as well. So it won't make making the list just kind of for those unique circumstances. But a coaster that will be making it, as I try to decide. Yeah, let's just get this one done because I want this in very badly. Let's do Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind from Epcot. 42-inch height requirement, I believe, so it kind of fulfills that family coaster gap, and it is by far the best coaster that is underneath that 48-inch height requirement I've ever done. It's no contest. I mean, it is a top 10 coaster for me. It might be at 10, but still, just super awesome ride, super long. Love the theming, and then the different soundtracks you can get with every ride makes it very re-rideable as well. Yeah, not one but two Chris Pratt coasters in my lineup. That is absolutely accurate with Velocicoaster and Cosmic Rewind. So yeah, Cosmic Rewind, like I said, very re-rideable. I think this would be one as well that's a lot more approachable than maybe some of the more thrilling coasters I have here. And it is one of my all-time favorites, so putting it here at 6. Jace, what's your next one?
Let's see. Okay. I don't have a traditional hyper in my park yet. And my the hyper coasters I've been on, or I guess my collection of hypers is not good at all. or I wouldn't say not good at all. It's probably definitely not as good as Carrick, so we'll say that. But I will choose my favorite, which is Candemonium at Hershey Park. For reference, Skyrush was closed when I went to Hershey, so I wasn't able to ride that. That would probably be what I put instead of Candemonium if I've been on it. I'm kind of glad that I didn't ride Skyrush because at the time I went, it still had the old restraints, and I now that it has the new restraints, I'm like, I want to experience it now. I did get to try the old restraints though.
Yeah, in the vlog, you can check that out. But no, Candemonium, great pick, especially because that one, I think it's a lot of floater airtime, so I feel like it's not it'll be, I think, probably a lot more accessible than maybe some of these other like Edge and Nike, Railblazer, Tatsu, perhaps just because of that pretzel loop. I think it'll be a lot more of like that crowd pleasing ride.
It's a really fun ride too, from when I rode it. The airtime was kind of a mixed bag, but mostly really good. Whatchamacall. And it was a bit more intense than I thought too, especially the bottom of the first drop. I actually grayed out on that part. Yeah, I think, well, my two other options were Fujiyama and Goliath at Magic Mountain for reference. So
yeah,
this is probably the best one.
Probably an easy pick of those. So that is certainly fair with that pick. Okay. At this point, I feel like I'm in the territory where I can do some interesting stuff, but all right, now let's do it. I said you could get coasters that were in previous conditions are allowed as long as you rode it. Launch lightning rod, baby.
Now that's a launch coaster.
Yeah. I rode it when it was launched. It was still after mostly iBox retrack. And honestly, I don't necessarily know that I would have included it had the change not happened, even though it is like one of my all-time favorite coasters. But actually, I probably still would have because the pacing of this ride is absolutely absurd. the quad down is an absolutely insane airtime moment, one of the best of all time. I guess somehow we're gonna have to figure out the terrain usage because the terrain usage is a massive strength of that ride. So artificial mountain, we're gonna have to create, I guess, for it. But yeah, launch lightning rod, absolutely fantastic. Another great night ride as well. Again, I don't know how much that would uh, just within like this new park, how much benefit we'd get from that, but still, it'll be hauling regardless. So launch lightning rod is coming up next on here. So what's your next pick?
Let's see. I kind of prepared for this. Let's see. I do not have a launch coaster in this park yet. And again, my launch coaster lineup is, it's definitely not bad, but it's not the best either. So I am going to pick Storm Runner at Hershey Park.
That's a great pick.
Yes, I've also ridden Accelerator. I slightly prefer Storm Runner over Accelerator, mainly because it has a more complete layout, or it just does more after the top hat. The launch on Accelerator is a little better, but Storm Runner is like 95% of Accelerator's launch, I'd say. And it's quite an intense ride, too, and it probably has... Oh, wait, never mind. I've ridden Agent Nika. I was going to say it has my favorite inversion I've been on, but I've ridden the 40 coaster, so...
But one of your favorites.
Yeah, one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, no, that is an excellent coaster. Charge says you would definitely add King to Ka to your park. Well, I can't quite add King to Ka, but I can add Top Thrill Dragster, and that is what I'm going to do here. And also you got your hydraulic launch coaster, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just piggyback off of that. Yes, Top Thrill Dragster does not have as much of a layout as obviously Storm Runner or even Accelerator. However, that launch is honestly probably outside of X2's first drop, probably the best coaster element I've ever experienced. That is something that, especially because it's gone now, and a hydraulic launch like that with as much track length as it has and as longly held as that launch is, and as powerful as it is, you really can only get it now in Abu Dhabi. I would love for people to experience that, so I'm kind of using it to preserve it. So that is going to be Top Thrill Dragster.
So I'm going to kind of piggyback off of Carrick. Carrick picked a really tall coaster, so I'm going to also choose a really tall coaster. So I'm doing Superman Escape from Krypton.
All right.
This is the only coaster over 300 feet I've been on.
And it hits that 100-mile-per-hour mark. And you're
preserving. It does hit 100
it.
miles per hour.
You are preserving it, so you do got that going for you.
That is true. This is mainly for those people I'd bring with me through this hypothetical portal who want to ride something really tall. So there's that for them. And plus, this is not about flat rides, but theoretically, you can also transport Lex Luthor.
That is
so I can have a drop power with that.
That is a great point. Hey, if you've ridden King to Ka, you get that too, actually. So that's kind of
true.
Funny. No, you're totally right. So that does actually strengthen its case. That is really fun. I didn't even think of that, but that is good.
Oh, also in my hypothetical park, I'm going to run both sides, one forward, one backward.
Yep, because that is, while the other side wasn't running, that is what it was. But I mean, even regardless, I mean, it's trains. You can flip around. It doesn't matter much. But yeah, it's both sides you're getting so that you can have both. I think that would be definitely the best move there. Okay, and we'll assume there's an uptime comment. This is our this is our like portal park thing that like exists. We're gonna assume we have elite uptime at this park. So
Kings Island level operations.
We can do names for the parks at the end. I was thinking of that. That would be funny. We will do that at the end.
I did not have that prepared.
I did not either. We'll have to figure it out. But anyways, Let's see. So for the next coaster, oh boy. Yeah, this is kind of where things start to get a little difficult. However, I am going to go with Twisted Colossus at Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Two RMCs.
Now, however, there is a big reason why I'm doing this one. I have stated in the past that, like, I think the idea that Twisted Colossus, when dueling, like, the upper tier or lower tier debate, I think, like, the idea of it being a lower tier RMC when it's not doing, but an upper tier RMC when it is doing is, I think, a little ridiculous. However, at this park, we're going to be able to get this thing dueling, and because I'm taking family and friends here, I'm sorry, that is way too good of an opportunity to pass up. I am definitely bringing in Twisted Colossus because, like, I'll actually be racing against people I know, so I think that'd be sick. Plus, now we actually will be able to get it to duel consistently, so at this park. So, yeah, I will also be adding Twisted Colossus here. What's your next pick?
Because I kind of bounced around a little bit. Oh, I want a coaster that has a beyond vertical drop because I've ridden 3 of those. And this is actually a hard one because they're all good in different ways. But I am going to go with Takabisha for this. It has the steepest drop. Is it the best drop out of the 3? I don't know about that. I'm gonna be honest. The trims just really slow down the drop. If they cut off the trims a bit earlier, it would be the best beyond vertical drop. But unfortunately not. The thing that puts it over the edge for me is it's a long ride. Because you got to remember, it has basically 2 halves. One with the launch and then one with the drop, obviously. I also wanted to have a coaster in the park with a vertical lift because I really like those. So there's that. My other 2 options were Hang Time and Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit, I feel like it's too similar to Storm Runner. It would probably add some redundancy in my park personally. Even though that's probably like if I were to rank them, it would go Hang Time, Fahrenheit, Takabisha. Oh yeah, the launch on Takabisha is very punchy. I will confirm that. Yeah, I was surprised by that launch. What was I gonna say? I like Hang Time because it has lap bars, and the drop with the holding brake was actually really fun. It doesn't trim you over the drop compared to Takabisha, so that was really fun. But in terms of like layouts, Fahrenheit and Takabisha definitely have the edge over Hang Time, at least after the drop.
No, that's totally fair.
Also
I
before
think
the drop in
yeah.
Takabisha's case.
No, I think that's definitely a good move. I mean, yes, if I open this park to the public, yeah, the wait times would go crazy. But I probably should, maybe the way I should have mentioned it is like it's almost like a park that you're basically renting out forever is kind of how I see it. This thing, so we aren't necessarily as concerned about that. But yeah, some of these rides. Well, actually, no, some of them have really good capacity. So. Other ones, yeah, they're gonna struggle a little bit, but
yeah, I have Railblazer, Superman, and Takabisha in the same park.
Yeah, like because if Cosmic Rewind and Velocicoaster were at a regional park, like the lines would be a lot shorter. Let's just say that because of how efficiently they're ran. Of course, assuming that they were ran as efficiently as said thing. But anyways. All right, so next, yeah, this is the part of it where things get a little interesting. Do I pull the trigger on it yet? Or actually, I think I'll just take yeah, no, actually, let's, this is, okay, yeah, this is kind of difficult because I did not necessarily prep this. But I am going to take it now. Giant Dipper from Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. I mean, the only problem is that we may not have that seaside setting but I don't really care, to be honest, because the laterals on this ride are truly insane. This does bring that classic old wooden coaster to the park, so it is very different from that aspect. It has some truly incredible airtime, and just provides, I would say, definitely a very different experience from the other wooden coasters I have. And I'm probably going to bring in actually one other wooden coaster, and it'll be different from that as well. So, yeah.
I guess I may as well could add my classic wind coaster in too, and it's actually not going to be Giant Dipper, and not because I think this classic Woody is better than Giant Dipper, um, but I'm choosing Comet at Hershey Park, and specifically with buzz bars. Um, yes, Giant Dipper is still the better ride, but I would argue Giant Dipper's ride personality is actually similar to Ghost Riders in that both rides have like strong laterals and like kind of surprising pops of airtime. And I have Ghost Rider in my park. So to have a bit more variety, I'm choosing Comet. And that way I can have a ride with buzz bars in my park.
Yeah, no, that is a good pick. And yeah, you get to preserve the buzz bars, so even better bonus.
I haven't ridden Phoenix, so I can't choose that.
All right. Oh yeah, and that is not right there. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Next one here. Wait, what
The
up?
74-year age gap between your oldest and second oldest coaster.
Dude, what's my second oldest? Dude, I just oh, Ghost Rider probably is my second oldest. Looking at that
Yeah,
lineup,
probably.
that is crazy. And actually, now I'm thinking about it. I don't think there's gonna be a ton of old coasters in my lineup either. So
I may have some older coasters on mine. We'll see.
Giant Dipper may be the one that mostly carries in that department. But that is, or maybe he was referring to your lineup as well, because what would be your second oldest? It'd be Superman. Although, no, that's not 74 years between Comet and Superman. So,
It's gotta be yours.
yeah, but at least you have two, yeah, no, you have three pre-2000s coasters. I only have two. So,
More age to mine.
yeah. Um, you know what? Why not? I'm just gonna get all the Woodies out of the way. Um, for kind of preservation
Okay.
purposes, I'm bringing in Gold Striker from Great America. I do prefer Mystic Timbers as a GCI, and there's a few other wooden coasters I prefer. But because we're kind of, this also works as like kind of preserving these coasters. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's just bring in Gold Striker, and do that. I mean, the pacing of this coaster is some of the best of any coaster out there, and definitely of any wooden coaster I've experienced. The pacing of this is absolutely insane and rapid. The airtime is very strong, and it has some very nice moments of laterals as well. And it's even got like, you know, the tunnel feature with the first drop, which is kind of neat. So that would be carried over here. So even though we have no reason to have it because there won't be noise issues, but the tunnel's cool anyway, so it stays.
Why not? Tunnels are
So
cool.
yeah, Gold Striker. Although, well, Ghost Rider has a kind of roof structure, and then we'll also have Gold Striker here, so that's kind of interesting, but who cares? Uh, so, yeah, that'll be my 11th. What's going to be your 11th coaster?
Oh boy. Okay, I don't have an invert in my park yet. And my invert lineup is not the best either. But I'm going to choose Great Bear at Hershey Park for my invert. It's not necessarily the most intense invert, but I'd say I had the most, or I shouldn't say I had the most fun in it. It definitely has the most unique layout. And the setting on Great Bear. Yeah, well, not by a long shot, but I'd say the setting on Great Bear is the best out of any invert I've been on, and especially since you're, under the track, having a setting below the coaster can be important. So, yeah, I haven't ridden any elite inverts like Montu, Afterburn, or anything like that, but I've ridden four, so there's that.
Just saw Mr. Cole Roaster came in the chat. Hello.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's still doing the trip in China. I've been following along the vlogs. That's really cool. So shout out there. And then Great Bear, you've definitely had better experiences than I have on it. So I will, but it is a very unique layout. So I will definitely give it that. Even if currently it is my least favorite invert I've ridden, but it is probably the one I've ridden in the worst conditions. So, just being a very early morning ride, and I only got one ride. So,
I also only had one ride, and maybe not in the best condition either. I ran in the back row, but I think I was kind of stapled for my ride, so that kind of detracted a little bit. But I've ran enough inverts where I know, like, hey, this is not the experience you're always going to get. Oh, it's kind of weird that I only got stapled on Great Bear.
that is interesting. Okay, so next.
Maybe I lost a lot of weight at the time. I don't know.
Could have been. All right. Yeah, I think it's time to put it in. I'm gonna just throw in. The only problem is I feel like no, I'm gonna leave this late for later because I think there's a decision to be made here that I'm a little worried to make just in terms of my lineup. But let's go with a Giga Coaster. And I've only ridden two. If I have ridden Fury 325, it would have been much earlier. And like, let's be real. But between Orion and Millennium Force, in my experience, I personally much preferred Orion. So that is what's going to be coming in next year. I think the sense of speed on this coaster is some of the best of any ride out there. Has some varied airtime moments as well, and actually surprisingly strong helix in terms of positive Gs as well. Not necessarily the longest coaster, but it is. I think it delivers a lot of nice elements, and like that sensation of speed is next level. I want to have that in this park. Outside of obviously Dragster has the launch, but this is for a more prolonged period of time. So Orion at King Zion will be the pick here, or Onion as civilian satellite mentions there.
Oh my gosh, I just realized that. I think even not King's Island, Kentucky Kingdom made fun of King's Island with that back when Orion opened.
Sounds really about funny. Right. Yeah. What's your next pick?
Oh gosh. Okay, this one's definitely an interesting pick, but I don't have. Well, I'm going to have multi-launch coasters in this park, but not yet. But I also don't have a coaster that really has a lot of hang time. Takabisha does have a moderate amount of hang time, but it's not like an aspect that I like remember from Takabisha. It has pretty good hang time, but not the best. So I am odd pick, but I'm gonna put Full Throttle as my next one.
Not an odd pick at all. I that's in consideration for me at some point.
Okay, yeah, because I mean Full Throttle has that loop, and that has insane hang time, and you can get a backwards launch, and you can get I guess a multi-launch out of it. So there's that. Of course, the top hat is a little disappointing with the trims, but I will say you can get good ejector if you're in the back for that drop.
For sure. I see Beyond the Thrills in the chat. Hello. Yeah, Full Throttle has that amazing hang time moment, and it has definitely just such a presence. So I do. It is a nice one to have in there. So no, I definitely respect that. For my next coaster, I am. Yeah, there are some difficult decisions I have to make because I don't have my hyper coaster yet. I probably will end up with two of them ultimately, is what I'm thinking I'm probably gonna do. But a lot of my coasters are very intense just looking at my lineup, or there's at least definitely some that are in that category. So I do want to have a hyper that's a little, not necessarily like super crazy, and so I'm gonna pick Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. I do prefer Goliath, but that one does have some pretty strong positive Gs. Mako is not necessarily doesn't necessarily have that. I think it's a little more crowd pleasing. Also, it is smoother because Goliath has a little bit of shake to it. And they're very close in my rankings, so I'm totally cool with making that trade off. The airtime on Mako is immaculate. Combination of floater and like probably more so like Flowjector airtime. So I think it'd be a very nice fit here. So yeah.
Oh boy, what would be my next pick? So when I like kind of prepared my lineup, I definitely went for more of a balance. And so my next coaster, I wanted one that can like introduce people to going upside down, because I feel like having a coaster like that is crucial, or it was crucial for me becoming an enthusiast myself. So I thought it was right of me to add Incredicoaster at Disneyland as my next coaster. Really fun and long ride. Not too many like intense or thrilling moments, but it was a great way for me to experience my first inversion. Actually, wait a second. You know what? Change Incredicoaster to California Screaming.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. All right, that went from like a pretty solid pick to an elite pick. All right, I love that.
As California
Yes,
Screaming.
yes. Let's do that. That's actually really good.
And now I get the elite onboard audio.
No, that's excellent. Sadly,
Now the X2 onboard audio.
I mean, because that's something that is, like I said, a machine issue. We'll just assume that's fixed up and you have it. But the California Screwing thing, that's like a whole retheme and whatnot. So like I wouldn't, and I unfortunately did not write it as California Screaming, so I would not necessarily be able to get that. So that is, I mean, yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Good coaster also, as you said, to introduce people to their first immersion. So, and just an overall very fun ride.
And I had a couple others I was thinking about for like that inversion introductory coaster, because I've also written Super Duper Looper and New Revolution, but I'd still pick Incredicoaster as like the best coaster for that purpose.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. So I think that is definitely a
Sorry,
nice
just look at the chat.
out of a coma SLC.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I didn't even think Kong was too bad, but
I have not written for Coma SLC either, so I can't do that.
But I'm not doing that. Son of Beast was your first inversion on a coaster. Wow, that is
wow. That's a pick for sure.
Wow, yeah.
Not necessarily that you had the choice, but
wow, that is something. Okay. Yeah, I am like actually really scared now of my picks. I'm like, I gotta be really smart here with what I do. I think, man, this is actually where things do get difficult. No, I think I am gonna do it. I think unfortunately this probably means I'm probably not gonna include Skyrush in this park, which I think is potentially fair because I've only ridden it with the old restraints, and I rode it a while ago, so even though it's one of my top coasters, I definitely think it's one that would need rerides, but I'm going to pick Railblazer from Great America. This is going to be that coaster that has that insane airtime. And plus, the reason I think I picked this is it's a single rail. I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's like a really cool experience to have that single rail straddle. Because I mean, like I said, this is a park we can take family and friends to, so I kind of want to have something that it's like, you know, kind of impressive in a way. And I think Railblazer accomplishes that with that single rail aspect. And then the pacing of this coaster is the best of any I've been on. The airtime strength is like between it and Skyrush, like neck and neck. But, you know, strongest I've ever experienced. So yeah, Railblazer is going to plug in here at 14.
Great pick. I would like an indoor coaster in my park, so I'm going to choose the best one I've been on, which is Space Mountain at Disneyland.
I'm probably going to steal that from you in a bit.
Oh my god. I have not been to Disney World, so I cannot speak on Guardians of the Galaxy or Tron. Um, but Space Mountain is a really good indoor coaster, I'd say. It really depends on what row you sit on, I find, because like some rides on it I thought was like really intense for some reason, like surprisingly intense, and then other times I've been on it, it was like fun. So I think it kind of depends on the row you go on.
That and I think weight distribution, I think as
Maybe.
well, because I think I wrote it during pandemic when they were like doing every other row, and then after once it was like fully loaded, and there definitely was a difference there. So, um, but yeah, I can definitely kind of see an inconsistency there. But I mean, that is definitely a ride that everyone can enjoy, and that's a reason that you will probably see it on this list here pretty quick. Uh, I don't know that I'm gonna do it yet because I'm not necessarily 100% sure I'm gonna put it on here. Um, so let's see, what could I do next? I kind of want to have a weird coaster. Like something that is a ride that that maybe not everyone's gonna like, but I do. Um, but it's still gonna be a pretty good coaster. And some may argue that it's a little redundant with one of my other picks, but like I said, I want a weird coaster, and so I am bringing in Furious Baco from Port Aventura.
Okay.
I mean,
You
just
have
the
two hydraulic launch
yeah.
coasters in your park.
I mean, you can never have enough of them, right? I mean, yeah, it
Their parks
definitely a bit of
maintenance
an.
gotta be top notch.
I mean, yeah, that is fair. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Half the reason I'm picking it is because of the bizarre storyline. I'm like, yeah, I just want a ride that just people are like, what, like just like WTF once they get off. To be fair, X2 also accomplishes that, but I think this is just like, all right, really odd theme, and everything. And then the ride itself is very good. I mean, this is a top 30 coaster for me, or top 35, so it's not actually like that crazy of a reach for me to include it. It does have the wing seating, so there is that as well. But yeah, Furious, and not everyone's gonna like it. It isn't the smoothest coaster. I get it, but I mean, it is very unique as well. Like, I mean, there is literally only one intimate wing hydraulic launch coaster out there. So yeah, Furious Baco is gonna be my pick.
I see. What'll be my next pick? Uh, do I want to add this? Maybe not just yet. I'll see what I do with that. Okay. I want to add a really good family launch coaster. So not going to be balls to the walls intense like Furious Baco. And I haven't ridden Hagrid's, so I can't include that. But I can include the next best thing, which is Zocon at Fuji Q Highland.
That is that. All right. Yeah. No, that works.
Really fun ride. I did not know the ride had onboard audio. So I thought that aspect of the ride was really cool. It's a really long ride. And I haven't ridden Intamin Blitzes, so this ride kind of gives that like blitzy feeling with like all the rapid fire transitions and the bank turns. Very enjoyable ride. I took my family to Fuji Q Highland, which in hindsight might not be the best idea, but we were like so close to Fuji Q, it's like may as well go there. But my family loved Zocon. If it wasn't for that, I probably would not have brought my family there.
No, that's totally fair, and definitely another ride that is like a lot of people can experience it. It seems very good from what I've heard, so yeah, that's I think a good pick there. Um, okay, so next one. Um, hmm. And actually, no, of note, I believe you now have three coasters of onboard audio. So,
Oh yeah, that's true. 'Cause
uh,
I got Oh, yeah, it's all in
Got
a row too.
Screamin', Space Mountain, and I didn't know Zocon had it, so there we go. I have Cosmic Rewind X2 and actually up to this point that is it, but it probably won't that probably won't be the only one. Beyond the Thrills is asking for Hulk. That is very much in consideration. I'm just trying to play out and see if that is what I want to do. But that is actually like very strongly in consideration. That being said, all right, I think I am taking my second hyper here. Superman El Último Escape at Six Flags Mexico. Very unique hyper coaster, has some nice terrain usage. Like I said, we'll just have to figure out artificial mountain stuff and whatever. Especially because I mean that pre-lift section is really neat. It has some solid airtime. And this coaster overall has a combination of really nice airtime and like some surprising positive G's and laterals for a steel hyper coaster. So definitely gonna have to be on here. Also another one that, you know, kind of thinking about it, you know, I probably, even if we're talking like enthusiasts, you know, not a lot of people get out to Six Flags Mexico who live in the US. So being able to bring that experience to people, I think would be pretty cool. Yeah, Superman El Último Escape is next one here.
Before I get into the more family coasters, I do want to add one more kind of thrill coaster, but I don't know, because I've been debating about whether it's either between adding a floorless coaster or a ride that goes backwards. Because Full Throttle goes backwards for a little bit, and so does Zocon, now that I think about it. But not too many. Oh yeah, I guess Zocon does go backwards. I just realized that. Okay, so I guess that's fulfilled, unless we want to do like some inversions backwards. How about I'll add one more family coaster as I think about it. Let's add Ninja at Magic Mountain.
All right.
That'll be a more family-oriented inverted.
Very good. I like that one. All right. I will be adding some family coasters. We're just not there yet. Actually, I think in my head, I think I know the rest of my lineup. I'm obviously not going to say it all right now, but I just want to check that but I think I am, yeah, okay. Just looking over. Yeah, okay. Next we're going to do Tatsu from Six Flags Magic Mountain. This is going to be, you know, the coaster that I have that's under the track. I'm not going to do an invert, spoiler alert. So I am going to go with Tatsu, which is my favorite flying coaster. Manta's also very good, so, you know, worth a shout out, but Tatsu is the one I'm going to end up going with. Again, we'll have to figure out the terrain usage, but it definitely does that very well. The pretzel loop is absolutely insane, and it does have some solid other inversions as well. So Tatsu is going to be the next pick here.
Okay. You know what? Let's go for it since this is my dream park. I'll add one more thrill coaster, and that's going to be Medusa at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. So we get some Discovery Kingdom representation here, I guess. It's the best floorless coaster I've been on out of a grand total of 2. Just a really solid ride overall. It runs pretty smooth. The inversions were all pretty dynamic. The drop was fun, or actually I should say both drops were fun. Like the drop off the mid-course break one was good as well. And yeah, just an overall really good, really solid looping coaster.
No, definitely, and I definitely agree that that it is my favorite floorless I've done. I mean, it's yours as well, but excellent inversions. I see your request Beyond Thrills. You don't save the $5. I got you covered. I with the next pick here, but just to wrap up on Medusa. Yeah, it's an excellent looping coaster, and I think very much is a very makes for a fine addition to your collection. So, Um, but I alluded to it. It was honestly between this and Mr. Freeze, and I'm sorry if Mason's still here. I'm gonna go with Incredible Hulk, Islands of Adventure. I mean, yeah, this one was in consideration for a while, and I think it just makes a lot of sense. I don't really actually have too much coasters in this lineup that are focused on inversions, so Incredible Hulk very much fills that gap. It features that incredible launch, an amazing onboard soundtrack. So now I am up to, I believe, 3 coasters with onboard audio, and there will be more. But the raw intensity of the first half is truly phenomenal. The onboard audio adds to the atmosphere. It does have a cool queue as well, which queue is mostly indoors, so that'll be easily transferred over. And yeah, absolutely love Hulk. Top 30 coaster for me, so very much justified here.
Before I go on, I'm going to correct myself real quick. I've ridden 3 Floros coasters, not 2. Patriot, I've been on as well.
Yeah, that one's. I can understand why you re-get it. It's Floralist.
Okay. So I would like a spinning coaster at my park. And so I'm going to take the best one I've been on, which is Sierra Sidewinder at Knott's Berry Farm.
Love that.
Do you have anything? Oh, I have Ghost Rider from Knott's. Okay. So already had some Knott's representation, but quite an intense spinning coaster from what I found. And when I ridden it, I was a little worried that I was going to spin a lot. I didn't spin too much. So, and I generally prefer coasters where I don't spin too much. So, yeah, Sierra Sidewinder is a good one. I wouldn't say it's the best spinning coaster for like people getting into coasters. Like I brought my little brother on it. Did not like it too much because it was quite intense for his taste. But this would probably be something you ride after riding some of the other family coasters in this hypothetical park.
For sure, no, and I think you have a good point. Like you mentioned that you didn't spin much for you, of course. Like if you had to ride on balance, and for people you're with, you kind of know how to do that. It won't spin too much. If you get an off balance car, it is crazy. I will say that, having experienced off balance at night even. So
I guess the crazy spinning's there if you want.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a versatile ride. So I do like it. Makes it very rideable. Also, appreciate the donation Beyond the Thrills, and I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, thank you.
So very much appreciated. Even though of course put in Hulk without it, definitely deserving. But yeah, like I said, very much appreciate that. All right, so these last 2 coasters will be family coasters, or at least family thrill. The first of which. There is kind of a shocking pick. I feel like if you've watched my channel, then one of my picks will actually legit be surprising. But I'm gonna go with the less surprising one first. I'm gonna go with Space Mountain at Disneyland. You might argue that it's a little redundant with Cosmic Rewind. But Cosmic Rewind does have the spinning aspect to it that may not be for everybody. That and Space Mountain is mostly in the dark really, so I think they're different enough. Another coaster with onboard audio will not be the last. I will allude to that. But it's just a ton of fun. It's a ride that everyone can experience and have a good time on. And it's one also, like, as we're getting older, this is one that, you can ride pretty easily, I feel like. So, yeah, Space Mountain from Disneyland, California is going to be coming over to this park. So,
which Space Mountain are you high on? Is it this one or the Magic Kingdom one?
Oh, Magic. I do prefer the California one, but I do love the Magic Kingdom one. That one is worth a shout out here.
I was gonna say Carrick is a bit more high on this than maybe even I am, and I am pretty high on it. Okay, I guess it's my pick. I would like a mine train for my park. So I'm going to choose the best mine train I've been on, which is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Disneyland specifically. Super smooth ride. Let me just say, Big Thunder Mountain is probably the smoothest coaster I've been on. Oddly enough, like when people say like, "Oh, this coaster runs like smooth as butter, smooth as glass," this coaster literally runs as smooth as butter. It's like you almost felt nothing except for the forces mainly. I might be exaggerating a bit, but no. Last time I ridden Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, I was just the one thing that stood out to me is yeah, it's really smooth.
No, that is totally fair, and it has a lot of it. It provides a lot of theming as
Yes.
well, a lot of theatrics. So, which just looking over your lineup, I mean, you do have Space Mountain California Screamin', but maybe don't necessarily have that super themed coaster, and this definitely delivers that. I mean, Space Mountain definitely kind of delivers, but like that's very much in the dark. So,
Right.
no, I think that's a very good fit. And that brings us to our last coaster of the bunch. I cannot believe I'm doing this, but I am betting that the rerides are going that I will eventually get will raise my opinion of this, and I think this is another one where it's like for family thrill coasters, this is definitely one of the best ones I've done. I'm just lower on it than a lot of other people. But like I said, I'm going to hope that this is something that ages well. And that's going to be Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure at Islands of Adventure is the one I'm going with. I'm not going to lie, part of it also is just like... it is kind of it would be kind of a fun flex to be like, yeah, I have one of the most expensive, actually two of the most expensive coasters ever built in my park. So there is that. And the level of theming is very good. So I will say that. And like I said, this is another coaster too that it's like, I think anyone can ride it, and have a good time on it. That actually, if anything, if the force is being a little disappointing in my experience means anything, I think that probably actually means it's probably even better as like just a coaster anyone can ride, which I need more of that looking at this park, and I think I at least have like 2 to 3 of those now that are like anyone can do them basically. Cosmic Rewind being a little debatable just because of the rotating aspect, but yeah. Hagrid's is also super long ride as well. That's another positive there. So I do want to get a night ride on Hagrid's or a front row ride. I have not gone either of those. So like I said, I am banking on the idea that like, I will get rides on this later, or well, now at the park that I have, and it will rise in my rankings a decent bit. So yeah, Hagrid's will come in here as the last coaster. What's the last pick you got?
Probably not as eventful as yours. I'm gonna choose. Ooh, see, last time I've ridden it, it's been renamed since then. Should I go with the current name or the name I've ridden it? I don't think the theming's changed too much.
Oh wait, I think I know what this is.
What?
Don't is it? Are you wait? I think we're talking about a kiddie coaster.
Yes.
I think we're talking gadgets.
Yep. I want to have one kiddie coaster in my park. Just cause. Are you doing the old name then? Okay.
You can do whichever. Although I guess since you've experienced the old theming, we'll go with that.
Yeah, we'll do Gadgets Go Coaster then. Yeah, I haven't ridden it since the rename. Has it had more theming since then?
I think it's basically mostly the same. They just added a few little Chip and Dale statues.
Oh, okay.
The scenery around said coaster outside of its artificial structure has changed a lot, but you don't really necessarily get the surrounding area, but you wouldn't necessarily get that, but you would still get like the artificial work around it, like rock work and whatnot. So
there's probably some smaller kiddie coasters that I could have chosen, and there's probably some kiddie coasters that arguably I would find better than it. But for its purpose of being a kiddie coaster, like I know you were probably thinking of Sea Serpent.
Yeah, but
um,
no, I will say
for its purpose, yeah,
I
I'm choosing that.
I will say at least because of the theming level this has, that does make it more unique than a lot of other kiddie coasters. So I will be, even though I said I would like absolutely not add a kiddie coaster to my park because I'm just like, if this is like the park this is the one park I just have access to for the rest of my life, I'm just like, I'm not adding a kiddie coaster. Like if I need to introduce someone to a coaster, like we can, I don't know, figure that out elsewhere. But I think this one is actually a good choice just because of the level of theming it has. So I do kind of like that. This isn't a competition. I am seeing people.
Nah, I already know yours is better than mine.
This was not intended to be a competition. I mean, for reference, these are only coasters we've ridden. I've ridden 206 coasters. Jace, you have 78. Okay, there you go. So, like, obviously, and also we've ridden a lot of similar coasters as well. There's a lot of overlap. So, like I said, this is not a competition. It's just kind of an interesting exercise. Because if everyone did this exercise,
I'll join the chat. Sorry.
yeah, I just started looking at some stuff. I'll get to that in a second. But this is just kind of an exercise just to think about things. We might do this segment again. I mentioned to Jace, depending on what's going on, I think it'd be cool to revisit this when one of us has hit like a coaster milestone, like when Jace hits 100 credits, or maybe I hit 300 credits, or both, something like that. It would probably be fun to redo this. But yeah, this is what our parks would look like if we could do our dream coaster lineup. That, like I said, basic idea of this is we have access to this at any time. This exists in basically its own little universe or dimension, and we have access to it via portal, and we can take any of our family, friends, or have parties basically in this place, and this is the lineup we would have for that park that we've created. So that was kind of the purpose, and that'll wrap it up for that segment. Hope that you all enjoyed. Definitely was a lot of fun for, I think, the two of us to kind of just think about which coasters we would add. And then we'll move on to roller coaster model roulette. So this, if you've watched the previous streams, this is like basically the opposite of the global roller coaster roulette. So basically, instead of picking basically global roller coaster roulette, what that was you basically got a random park and had to decide the coaster model that said park was getting. Well, this is actually, we're getting a random coaster model and we're deciding what park it's going to. So it's basically like the complete opposite. I will get the wheel up so we are ready to go there. Once I find it, I didn't create it that long ago, so it should show up here. We do have 100 different models, so this is definitely an experiment. This could be very wacky and goofy. All these models
are going to pop up.
Yeah, that is the part that is going to be interesting. Oh yeah, the other aspect to this too is for each one, we'll also do a different thing that determines if the park we're adding it to is either a US park or international. So there will be that as well.
Watch me give an SLC to Cedar Point.
Well, there isn't an SLC because it's like stuff that's like in production or at least is listed on the website. There are some weird ones, like Intamin still lists their prefab Woody on their website and like their Aqua Tracks. So I'm like, okay, I guess we're throwing that in here.
Put in there for fun.
SNS lists their fourth dimension still, so it's kind of like, all right, we'll go with that. Give me a random number, actually.
Yeah, 3.
All right.
I like the number 3.
And I'll go first for this. Actually, I do need to... Oh, wait, no, I don't need to do anything. The wheel is, I think, good enough for what we're doing. So the first thing I'm going to get is Gerstlauer bobsled, so this is going to be more of a family coaster. And then, oh, I need to get a random number generator. That's what I needed to do. So random number generator.
Or I
And
can
actually, we're going to do the
Flip a
coin.
coin.
All right, head. Well,
Yes.
Oh, it actually had the noise. Okay.
Sorry, that was me.
Oh, I was like, wait, it landed on heads. Okay, so heads is a U.S. park. So this Gerstlauer bobsled will be the first one at a U.S. park.
Yay.
And I'm gonna go with a cop-out pick. There's actually a park that was planning to get, at least was thinking of getting one of these. And it's actually one that came up in the blind ranking earlier. That would be Oaks Park. So we're gonna make their dream come true. This is a coaster that can be very compact, and that is a park that is very small. So I think it's a good fit, and we'll just use this to give them their coasters. So very unconventional pick probably, but it is a coaster that probably has pretty limited capacity as well potentially. So probably good to send it somewhere small. So there you go. They're not like true bobsled coasters, as in like the mock or intimate bobsleds. They're more like wild mice with weird layouts, basically. So they're often very themed up as well. There's a ton of them in Europe. So yeah. Okay.
Are we allowed to choose a park on the condition that they remove like a coaster?
Yes,
the new one?
absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was gonna
If they
say,
have
if
an
I got-
aging,
So like theoretically, if I got Gerstlauer bobsled, I would say give it to Knott's to replace Ghost Rider.
you could do that. No, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. That is a rule. We have that with the global roller coaster roulette, so that'll be what happens there. Okay, so here's yours. Let's see what we get. Yeah, we're gonna get some weird boys. All right,
no.
This is basically an ENF Myler kitty coaster. I only included, I think, like 2
Cool.
kitty coaster models, and somehow we get one of them.
I'm trying to think, what is a park that doesn't have a kiddie coaster?
Oh wait, and I have to do the flip, I guess. See if you're getting like
if it's an international park.
It is a U.S. park.
Okay.
So
Oh boy.
all right. What park desperately needs a? I know one that needs
a kiddie coaster.
Well, I know one that needs a reliable one.
Oh.
61 Coasters is right on it. Which also welcome to the stream.
I see. Okay.
Because the one they have is ridiculously unreliable.
Oh yeah. That's a very unique kiddie coaster. We're referring to the same one, right? Joker's Funhouse coaster?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they actually once had 2 unreliable kiddie coasters, but
I was gonna say, was a Kid Flash, but I'm like, that one's already removed.
Yeah.
I'd say I would probably give that, since like that's been the convention. Let's give it to like an independent park.
Dude, Stratosphere is like the most hilarious shout out ever. That would be so funny.
I'm actually tempted.
That's not I mean, it's goofy, but it's so funny. And like they would do that. They do have like the flat ride that like basically is a kiddie flat ride that they attach at the end of the roof. So
actually, yeah, it does kind of fit the Stratosphere thing. Speaking of Vegas, does Adventure Dome have
Adventure Dome, they got rid of Minor Mike.
Yeah.
You're right. The Minor Mike replacement.
All right. Let's do Adventure Dome then. Sorry. I would have chosen Stratosphere, but then thought of the other park in Vegas. It is a park. Never mind.
So you saying Adventure Dome or?
I'm saying Adventure Dome.
All right.
Probably a better fit. Not my first pick, I will say that. But it's a good fit.
Well, we got
something smaller.
We have gone like the most unconventional. Like these are like the weirdest. Like a Gerstlauer bobsled for Oaks, which to be fair is kind of like that's something they're trying to do, or at least tried to do at one point. And an ENF Myler for Adventure Dome is just kind of funny. All right, let's hopefully get something that's a little more larger scale for a coaster. Just put stratosphere for all the remaining wheel
Oh my
picks.
gosh. Let's put King to Con in the
Ooh.
stratosphere.
Okay, mock launch. There we go.
Ooh.
So this is like basically like a helix, blue fire. Okay. And also previous picks, since this is a new segment, I'm not combining like the previous picks from the global roller coaster roulette. So anything is open here basically. Man, there's one park that I have pinned this to for a long time. Um, no, Mock Extreme Spinner would not be. The Mock Extreme Spinner is a separate model. So this is just conventional launch coaster. I guess if you want to strap a spinning backseat to it, cool, you can do that. But um, let's see. Oh, right. And then I have to do the coin flip to determine if this is US or international.
Man, a
It's
lot
another
of heads.
US. This might be rigged. Um, okay. So we are talking a US park, which is what I was thinking of right now. Yeah, Slinging Dog Dash is a mock launch coaster, so I believe it is in that same like sort of model, basically. Um, no, I'm not doing Great Adventure. I do know they need something, but we're gonna
And it'll
not
come in 2027.
beyond 2026 actually. So we had not even confirmed there. Um, ooh, okay. I think I'm just gonna do the one I've picked previously. I know I've done this for roller coaster roulette, like global roller coaster roulette, but because it's a new segment, I am gonna go with King's Island. I think they would very much like to have this. This would be probably think like a Copperhead Strike style coaster. That is probably what we would go with. So that
Strikers are a
is
separate one too, right?
yeah. Striker
Okay.
is a separate yes. So um, good question to ask. Okay, so here's your next one.
Oh
See if the
boy.
U.S. stuff keeps going. Over Texas is kind of good shout out actually, considering they have some stuff potentially on the way.
Huh.
Oh,
That's a
um,
very odd pick.
this is Objective Mars is the only one basically.
Okay.
So it's
I'm trying to
basically
think.
kind of like a multi-dimension coaster, but it has spinning, which some of them have. So I don't really understand why this is a different
And
model.
launches.
Yeah, tire. I guess these have tire launches. So
Let's
uh,
see.
we can
So,
re-roll if this is too bizarre. Also, I have to flip.
oh, the one I was thinking. Oh yeah. Oh
You got
crap.
international.
Well, there are some parks out there that do have a good relationship with Intamin, especially
It,
in Europe, because
yeah, actually, if anything, this might make it a little easier.
uh, yeah, let's go with that. Jur Summerland.
That was
In
exactly. That was. I'm not
you
even kidding. That was exactly the one I was thinking.
know, they've been getting a lot of family coasters, especially Intamins. Like they got the first ever Intamin family invert, so this seems right in line for something they could get. Um, yeah.
No, that's a great pivot. I love that. Um, okay, so we'll see what the next one is. All right, come on, give us something crazy. I might shrink the list also in future ones. This is like very much like a test. Ooh, we do I think have an interesting one. Intamin vertical launch. All
Oh.
right. Um, so the weird thing is this is not to be confused with the Intamin vertical LSM. Those are two separate ones. The vertical launch is more like that longer layout. The LSM is like the more compact one. Um,
Oh, okay.
like this is the one that's like people have like tagged it to be potentially a Rip Ride Rocket replacement, which I could cop out and do that if I get heads, which I do. Um, but you know what? I'm not. I will not do that. I will make this a little more interesting. Um, the only problem is who exactly is working with Intamin in the U.S. on a consistent basis right now. Um,
United Parks. That's my only thought.
I mean, but when was the last time well, no, yeah, you're right, because Dark Coaster. So they...
Pantheon.
This actually... There have been some, like, kind of rumblings as far... No, we're not doing a Fahrenheit replacement. Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh.
Gonna say absolutely no on that one. But something that did stick out to... Although, actually... No. I'm gonna go with something different. Let's go with... a bit of an unconventional one, but they do need something like this in their lineup. Let's go, and they have a ton of space. SeaWorld San Antonio Intamin Vertical Launch. There we go. I was tempted to do SeaWorld Orlando as like a potential Kraken replacement, but because there's it is on the older side as far as B&Ms go. So they might have to do it at some point, but we're gonna go with SeaWorld San Antonio for this one. So
that would be a nice 1-2-3 punch. Steel Eel, Texas Stingray, and the vertical launch.
Yeah, no, totally. So next we'll go to this is gonna be the last one because that'll be 6. So you wish you liked Kraken better. Kraken's like pretty solid. I don't think it's nearly as good as like Medusa Discovery Kingdom. Ooh, RMC Raptor.
Oh, for me. Oh crap.
Yeah. Last one. Oh, and we have to do the coin flip pull up. So this will. Well, it's
Okay.
US. Wow, 5 of 6. That is crazy.
What's a good park for that?
And you can do either like the prototype-y layout or the longer one or custom, whatever.
Or the revised prototype one.
Yeah.
Let's go with may not necessarily be the best fit for this park right now, but Worlds of Fun.
Okay.
I mean, Worlds of Fun is on the smaller side. What they really need is a launch coaster, but an RMC Raptor would also be very different from anything else at the park.
All right. Okay. I see the vision. Well, the only thing is, it is no. It can exist. I'm trying to think, how far is Lost Island from Worlds of Fun? I think they might not be crazy far away, but I mean, Lost Island's in the middle of nowhere, so I think you can definitely justify this. So yeah, heads was 5 out of 6 tosses, so that was definitely interesting. Lost Island is far enough for sure. Okay, cool. Sounds good there. For some reason, my stream thing, the numbers on here are not accurate with the chat, so don't know what's up with that, because I know there's people still in the chat commenting. Definitely weird restraints for assuming that was related to the Raptors. But anyways, that's going to do it for our roller coaster model roulette. Let us know in the chat if you preferred either this or the global roller coaster roulette. I'm just curious if you've watched both of those, because this was, a little bit different. But yeah, that'll, like I said, wrap it up. And then we'll go into our final Q&A / buy or sell. And while you guys are putting in your questions, so make sure to put in questions now, I will also be doing a buy or sell review, which will be basically reviewing the buy or sells that that we have done in the past between the two of us in previous streams. So like I said, ask any questions or any buy or sells that you have now, and then we'll go from there. So I will bring up the review. Let me just make sure I have it ready. Alrighty. So here is pretty much, there's actually 18 of these. I'll roll through these pretty quickly in terms of the ones we are looking at, in terms of the ones that have happened. So basically, these are buy or sells that have been confirmed to have happened or not. The first one was actually one that if you watch the stream where I reviewed the buy or sells, you'll know that this one showed up. This is Zombie Ride, which was a Premier Skyrocket 2 in Mexico. Will get relocated to a park in North America. We both bought this. It did not happen. It got relocated to a park in South America in Salitre Magico in Colombia. Next one, Tokyo Disneyland's new Space Mountain will be a Vekoma Omni coaster. Both of us sold this. It's confirmed to be an Intamin, so we're good there. Top Thrill Dragster will receive a new launch. This was in 2022. We didn't really know what was going on. We both sold this. Obviously, it did. So at the time, we did not believe that was what was going to happen, and of course, that did end up happening. And then Rock and Roller Coaster at Disney Hollywood Studios gets rethemed in the next 10 years. Both of us bought it. It's being rethemed to the Muppets next year, so we got that right.
Interesting.
So between those, 2 for 2. Then we went 4 for 4. Villain Con Minion Blast at Universal Studios Florida becomes a flop. We both sold this. I'm going to say a success for now because Universal Studios Japan has just added theirs this year. I know it's not like everyone doesn't necessarily like love it, especially as far as like, you know, enthusiasts or theme park enthusiasts, but seems to be doing fine. I know that wait times aren't super long, but the capacity of this thing also may be a reason why that is. So we'll mention that. And then what is Beyond the Cloud? Beyond the Cloud is the mock launch coaster in China that looks absolutely insane. Look up a POV. It looks awesome. I will recommend that. But SeaWorld gets purchased by Cedar Fair. I'm going to just say because the Cedar Fair Six Flags merger happened that we are good. We both sold this and, well, Cedar Fair merged with Six Flags. I don't imagine they are going to get purchased now by this new Six Flags chain, but Cedar Fair is basically dead, just as is, so consider that a win. Fiesta Texas adds a new dark ride in 2024. They did not. They ended up giving Wonder Woman an overhaul and did water park expansion, so we were right there. We both sold that. Mission Ferrari opens by 2024. Both of us bought it. Very potentially debatable because, you know, it just been chilling for years. It opened in early 2023, so didn't even have to wait nearly that long. And then there were some other ones that came in that episode. Six Flags will add at least 3 more B&Ms in the next 10 years. Both of us sold this. Since then, they have added Rapterra, which, because of the merger, where I'm going to call that a Six Flags addition, because Kings of Minion was part of the chain when that happened, and Wrath of Rakshasa since, and we know that Over Texas is getting a B&M dive in 2026, so we were both wrong there. SeaWorld Orlando Surf Coaster will not be a stand-up. It obviously was. We both bought it, that it would be. That ended up happening. And then Sick at Flamingo Land, this is the 10 inversion coaster, will be renamed within 3 years. Well, it's been 3 years since it opened. We both sold this, and it still has retained its name. So we were right there. And then moving on to the last few, which was from another episode in 2023. Dagan Barnes asked if Cedar Fair would take over management of Magic Mountain Discovery Kingdom. We both sold this. Technically, through the merger, they did, so I called this a loss. We both sold this, and we were not correct. Nighthawk leaves Carowinds in the next 10 years. We both bought this, and it was removed within a year and a half of this stream, so, or at least became defunct within that time period. Frontier Coasters mentioned Six Flags will focus less on sponsorships in the near future. And we both sold this, and this is a success. They have made sponsorship deals with companies including Rivian. They just did Lifesavers. They put that on, I believe Pandemonium at Over Texas. Corkscrew at Cedar Point is now presented by M&M's. Actually, a lot of the Cedar Fair parks, their fireworks events were presented by M&M's, and you're starting to see more of that presented by for events by a sponsor. So I would say they have not really toned down since. And then the last few included.
That's from the last one.
Let's see. I need to get to the list here. Jetline at Grunelund will reopen. It was assumed at the time it would, obviously after a tragic and fatal accident, but it was believed it was going to reopen by many. It did not. It ended up permanently closing. So we were wrong on that. We both thought that it would reopen. There was a question about if Jace would reach a big coaster milestone by the end of 2024. Both of us sold it. In terms of like major, we were talking 100 credits. Jace didn't reach 100 credits. However, in that answer, he did say that he could reach 75 credits, and he did. So there was that mentioned there. That was a good shout out. So figured I'd throw it in there. And then also asked if I would reach a big coaster count milestone. You didn't really have the information, so you didn't comment on it. Only I answered this. I bought it, and I did end up reaching 200 credits in November of that year. The last one was about Skyrush moving up several content creators' top lists and gaining new life as the top tier coaster with new restraints. Both of us kind of sold this, that it would just get this like wave of like praise all of a sudden. And from what I can tell, there are some people who've enjoyed it, but you aren't seeing like people like raise it up their lists tremendously. There's actually a decent amount of people who say it's worse now, and Skyrush did not move up in the vote coasters poll compared to last year, which was kind of the ultimate determiner that I used. It did not end up moving up. I think people who didn't like it initially, like they now enjoy it more, but it's not like an elite coaster for them, like this question was potentially asking. So with that all out of the way, our scores for these, I ended up with 13 out of 18, and Jace ended up with 12 out of 17. Convenient that
score.
yeah. Basic, it's convenient. These were convenient in that we both answered the same basically for all the ones. I can tell you that looking at the ones that haven't hit, we definitely have some disagreement, so that'll be interesting to track in the coming years. But yeah, that is our buy or sell review, and then we'll get to your questions. And I see that it is in Eastern Time, 10:07 p.m. Ask any questions up until 10:15. We'll answer any ones that come in until then, and that'll be kind of the cutoff in terms of asking questions. Let's see. Where did questions start?
That's a good question.
That is. A major amusement park in Texas will open in the next 5 to 10 years after Universal, and I assume we're not talking about Cotoland if for some reason it gets delayed past Kids Resort. So you're saying a new one. I am going to sell that. Texas is a big state. It is very possible that someone could be interested in doing that. I mean, Houston is a huge city that just doesn't have a park. Maybe someone eventually is like, you know what, let's do it. Or maybe somewhere else, like some people are like, maybe Universal actually expands beyond the kids resort there. I find that incredibly unlikely though, to be honest. But I am going to sell that. Jace?
I don't know about in 5 to 10 years. Just given, I don't know, the economy right now. But I certainly think it's possible for a new park to open in Texas. I mean, Texas is such a big market. And as Carrick said, Houston does not have any major park in the area. So I think it's possible, maybe not in the next 5 to 10 years. So I'm going to say sell it just because of the time frame. I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, 5 to 10 years is still a long while out, even though obviously, yes, there's an economy right now not exactly in a great spot. As we'll probably find out with some Six Flags earnings call in the next few weeks here. But amongst other things, of course, I mean, there's a lot of signs, but um, let's see. Buy or sell. Canada's Wonderland retakes its spot as the highest attended seasonal amusement park. I need the. It would be nice to have like the numbers or like the numbers in front of me because I know at one point it was, and then it. Um, I don't. I mean, I don't know because the highest seasonal park is Cedar Point currently. Um, but Canada's Wonderland, it is at least like nearby a major city, so you do have that. Um, so there could be that. That is very plausible though. I could see it. Canada's Wonderland just has such a short season though is the problem. I mean, Cedar Point season isn't like super long, but Canada's Wonderland, do they close in like September? Oh wait, am I off? Hold up. How long is their operating season? Um, I think I might be. Oh wait, okay, yeah. So normally operates from late April or early May to Labor Day, and then it on select days until early January. Is it like? Do they have a Halloween event? This is kind of bad. I don't know this off the top of my head right now. Oh wait, okay, no. I am completely off base. I don't know what I was saying. They do have that calendar. So actually, no. Excuse what I said. Um, uh, you know what? I will buy it. Why not? I think it's very realistic that it could happen. So I will buy it.
I'm gonna assume that this question refers to within the next year.
Yeah, that would probably be
Sounds
helpful.
present. I would say sell because if you think about it, because like right now, Sierra Point is the most attended seasonal park, and Canada's Wonderland, I guess, second or something like that.
Yeah.
See, they both open new coasters this year, but I would kind of argue Cedar Point technically or kind of opened two new coasters this year because Top Thrill 2 was only open for like a few days last year. So they really opened two coasters this year, and that's going to get a lot of people over there, I would predict, especially since one of those new coasters is Siren's Curse. So I think I'm going to predict that Sierra Point is going to have a decent jump in attendance. Maybe not a super huge jump, but probably enough to still keep it the most attended seasonal park. Now, if we're talking about like in the next 5 to 10 years, could be Canada's Wonderland. But I'd say right now, I don't see that happening like within a year.
Yeah, actually, I think the timeline is important because, like, if we're saying for this season, like, that it overtakes it, like, literally this year based on this year's numbers, I would be hesitant to do that. I for similar reasons as you've described, but I was thinking, like, this might be, like, a 3 to 5 year question. I think if it's that, then I could definitely see Canada's Wonderland retaining its spot. So I'll just say we're talking 3 to 5 years, I buy it. Okay, Connexpert says next 5 years. Yeah, I'll buy it for next 5 years.
I'll buy it too then.
Okay, fair. That is good. Good clarification there. 61 Coasters. SeaWorld will buy Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. I am 100% selling that. I think if Six Flags Discovery Kingdom gets sold, that land will be far more valuable as like for redevelopment than it would be for a park. The only thing that maybe, I guess if SeaWorld took it over, it's like they don't have to worry about like transporting the animals and whatnot. It's like they're still chilling. So that would be like the nice aspect of that. But I mean, besides that, I don't really see a much point, so I will sell that.
I'm also gonna sell mainly because now that CGA is closed, I think the Six Flags Corporation still probably thinks Northern California is an important market to have. Um, so they probably think it's important to have at least one park in the area. Uh, and now that CGA is closed, the only real park up there for that's in their chain is Discovery Kingdom. I guess is Gilroy Gardens technically under their?
No, they
Okay.
Cedar Fair completely got out of there,
Oh, okay.
basically. Which I don't think Discovery Kingdom. I mentioned JB Thrill's stream when we were talking about the potential dangers of it, and he was actually even more pessimistic about it than I was, which is saying something. But I'm not 100% sure that Discovery Kingdom's like fully safe just because it's like gonna end up being the only like amusement park, like major park in the region. Um, I think if Six Flags gets desperate enough, that's probably an area where the land value is probably pretty high, and they could sell it. It probably in a situation like that, I could see that being like, okay, let's do that, but still probably fine. So, um, let's see. Um, when someone says Nick from Beyond the Thrills, what is the first coaster you think? I mean, I know you have the Velocicoaster in the profile pic, so that probably comes to mind just because like watching the streams, it is probably Velocicoaster just because like if you have it in a profile pic, I'm like yeah, that's gonna jump to my head, so I'd probably go Velocicoaster, especially because I recall even though your home park's Great Adventure. I remember you mentioned a while back that like you're a little lower on Toro, at least since like it reopened. So I'd go Velocicoaster just because like it's literally in the profile pic there. Um, let's see. Um, and by the way, we have hit that time limit, so I think I will. We'll see where we're at, but I have it basically. I know where it's at in terms of when the questions are, so I'll just keep an eye on that. Civilian Satellite asks you specifically, as the crow flies, what is the closest coaster to you?
Oh gosh. I guess without getting too technical, my best guess is somewhere in California. So maybe the most western coaster in California. So West Coaster at Santa Monica Pier comes to mind. Um,
Let me look at the
although
coast to
actually,
coaster map.
uh, so in terms of Hawaii, that would probably my guess is that's probably the closest. Although I will say, I am in Colorado for part of the year, so
Mm, that
so
is
something at
funny.
Elish Gardens would be the closest when I'm in Colorado.
I'm not actually sure on that now. Um, I think there might be. Actually, I'm not like as a crow flies because I know there's like some mountain coasters and such, but um, maybe you're right. Um, yeah, as the crow flies, I think we when we looked it up last time, or I think I remember looking at it. I think out of the ones you had written, it was I think the closest one may have been is Hawaii closer to Japan or California? Pretty
I think
sure.
California.
Yeah. Um, I think if I recall, I think Undertow may have been the closest from what I recall, but maybe you're right about the SoCal thing. Um,
Uh, now that I think about it, what's
yeah.
more west, NorCal or SoCal?
Well, but also where because
Oh yeah, because
like
north and south. Yeah.
yeah, um, like what is it? Maui to Los Angeles. I can't do that right now. At some point, we'll probably get an answer on that.
Yeah.
I think there's a website that you can look at to figure that out, but that's a decent bit of work right now. Alaska's coaster might be the closest. No, there's no way. Alaska's like way too far north. I
Hawaii
think.
is very close to the equator, so
Yeah, I don't think Alaska's coaster is the closest. That would be definitely a surprise if it was. Um, unless one of those Bolt Cruise coasters goes to Hawaii. I don't think they do. Um, they are powered. Well, some people do. Yeah, I personally don't count powered coasters as credits. I don't know where you
I
stand
do.
on that. Okay, there you go. Um, so that would be in consideration. I
It's more
guess
of a
we're
traveling coaster then. So
yeah,
in
that's
the same way
true.
Jungle Twist isn't the closest coaster to me, so it wouldn't be a Bolt coaster.
Fair enough. Do we think Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift will make our top tens?
Oh, easily
Um,
for me.
I think it's. I expect it to make my top 10. I think that is a reasonable expectation. Because being in my top 10, even if it literally is number 10 currently, that would make it the fourth best coaster in California, which I kind of expect minimum. That's where it's going to be, because that would mean I'd have X2, Ghost Rider, and Twisted Colossus ahead of it, and I think there's a very real world where it's better than at least some of those, if not like all of them. I legitimately think it might end up being the best coaster in California if it hits full potential. So yes, certainly I think that I expect it to make my top 10, at least as of today. You know, once we actually get there, my top 10 might look different. I may have different coasters I've ridden. Like, say I was to ride Iron Gwazi this year. Well, that makes things a little different. Stardust Racers as well. But as of today, yeah, I'd expect it to. Um, where do we see Marineland's rides going to? All of them are up for sale. So if someone wants to grab Dragon Mountain for,
Is
I
the
think it was,
park on sale?
all the rides are up for sale because
Oh, not the park.
they're
Oh,
redeveloping
okay.
it. Yeah.
How do you
Um,
spell Dragon Mount?
it is listed, I think, between 2 and 3 mil, something like that, if you want to relocate it. But like, no one's gonna want to because it's like it's logistically impossible, or impractical, probably is a better way to put it.
I don't think
Um,
has an Aero coaster been relocated before? Probably, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Gold Coaster,
Um,
in Australia. Their Aero corkscrews have been relocated like quite a bit as well.
oh yeah.
So, yeah, no, aero coasters have been relocated. That wouldn't necessarily be the problem.
It's just the
Uh,
terrain.
yeah. Um, I mean, I don't know. I do know of a park that has a lot of missing holes in its lineup that could use some ride. The problem is it depends on what condition these rides are in. It is probably like the biggest thing because I don't think they really have much things that are like super new is the problem. Um, so I'd probably expect like we'll see some probably like independent parks probably in like the northeast region or just in the general U.S. So we'll probably pick up some of these. I don't really have anything too specific because we're mostly talking like flat rides. I guess if you want to throw the Tivoli coaster, like someone can get that maybe, but I don't have like a specific guess. You got any
Mm,
specific guess?
you know, if Dragon Mountain is going to get relocated, it's probably going to be a really big project. So I wouldn't see a small park getting that, even though it says it's 2 to 3 million. Um, you know what? Dragon Mountain at Silver Dollar City does not.
Oh my god. What I mean, that would certainly be so. I thought you were gonna go there's something else I thought of that was just dumb. Uh, okay, yeah. Silver Dollar City, they would not do it because it is beyond dumb. And I don't think they don't have the terrain for it, but they have the money to accommodate the extra support. So Six Flags
Yeah.
Kidia, come on
Oh my
down.
god.
I mean, they have
That's
money to
true.
burn, so. And if not, the Wonderla chain in India that's rescuing all these random coasters that is questionable if they should be saved. If you have a park somewhere that can support this, go right ahead. um, it would. I mean, yeah, it is like I said, completely impractical. Uh, but just thinking of the idea is funny. Buy or sell. Fast and Furious Supercharged in Orlando will close Wow, that is like will close after Great Adventures 2027 coaster.
After, not before.
That is interesting because I could see it, but my God, they literally could just close that like at any point, and like who cares? Um, even if they're closing the one thing saving it is like they're closing Rip Ride Rocket next few months or next few weeks. Um, but I kind of hate buying this though. This is the problem, and this man, that is wow. You know what? No, I will buy it because I think Simpsons also is like probably on its way out in the next few years. And I think they have probably enough projects going on that they'll just leave this alive, I guess. And even though it's been on and off closed, like here and at points, but yeah, I'll buy it. How about
I'm also
you?
gonna buy it. I think they're gonna try and get as much as they can out of it.
Yeah, but it's a very low confidence buy.
Yeah.
Um, Ooh, buy or sell a clone of Flash Coaster Aqua Show. This is that compact mock launch coaster that just opened in
Oh,
Portugal.
okay.
Will appear at another park within the next 5 years. Interestingly enough, we haven't really seen too many like clones of mock coasters outside of like Blue Fire. But this one would kind of make sense because it is like kind of that like compact like coaster kind of in line with like the Skyrocket 2s and whatnot. But this one actually has long trains, so that's kind of cool. Um, so it wouldn't be a complete disaster capacity wise, so that's kind of nice. Actually, I need to look at the trains real quick, just how many riders it holds. I think I'll just have to look up Aqua Show and go from there. There we go. Flash Coaster. Actually, it's 16 riders, so never mind. In terms of like the trains being super long, because what's the Skyrocket 2s? Like I guess Tigress, for example, since that's like the longer one, or Electric Eel will do. Actually, never mind. The Skyrocket 2s of the three cars have 18 riders, so we are not improving there. Um, and this would probably be a Europe thing too. I don't really see, um, or Asia actually could also happen. Um, I still think it's unlikely. I'm gonna sell it. Unfortunately, I think it's a decent idea to come up with, but I'm gonna sell it.
Is this kind or technically a custom layout, or is this like a pre-made layout that Mock
We
already
have
like made?
no idea. Actually,
Okay.
RCDB now listed as a compact launch coaster, so apparently this is the new model. Okay.
Okay. Because like if it was a pre-made layout that like parks were maybe aware of before this ride is opening, then I could see that opening in the next 5 years because maybe some other park looked at the same proposals, be like, "Ooh, I want that too." Um, but because it's, I guess, a custom layout, I'm not sure about that. I'd say sell. Maybe in the next 10 years, like 6 to 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know about next 5 years.
Yeah, I think it's a little difficult to see. Ooh, I love this question.
I think I know
I
your opinion on it.
well, I'm gonna buy this, or well, it's not even buying it, but I mean the problem is we don't know what the layout is, so little harsh to judge it before we even know that. Like, who knows? Maybe the layout is like really crazy, and I'm like, you know what? No, this won't be the worst Giga. But even coming from someone who is lower on Red Force than consensus, I mean, I'm sorry. I think it probably will be. I mean, I think it'll still be like an interesting ride, and definitely like really cool. I mean, getting a dive coaster that like is that tall, it will be interesting, even if it like zaps its speed pretty quick. Unfortunately, assuming it has a mid course, so you don't even have the sensation of speed. that a Giga Coaster usually provides for that long, but I'd say yeah, probably. How about you?
Hmm. Are we gonna presume that it has the B&M rattle?
Oh yeah, that's like
Because
I didn't even think
in
of
that
that.
case, I would probably buy it. Not necessarily because it's the only Giga with a rattle. I heard Orion might have a rattle too. What did you think of Orion?
No, I thought Orion was fine. I didn't really
Okay.
see an issue with it. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I haven't really, although I haven't ridden like Penguin. Apparently, Penguin Trek's like one of the ones that has like a really bad rattle, and I didn't ride that, so
Hmm.
um, I, I haven't ridden like the super recent dives, so I can't comment on them.
Okay. Uh, hmm. I'm gonna buy it because yes, the hangover the drop's fun, but oh wait, I was gonna say which drop would I prefer? A 300-foot dive B&M dive drop or Red Force? Um,
Dude, Red Force's drop is actually like really good. That's like the one. That's like the save for me. That's like the saving grace of the ride. It's like actually the drop's pretty sick. I would
okay.
take more traditional like Giga drops over it,
Oh yeah,
but it is pretty sick. I will admit. Um, Also, that one lap bars.
that's
This won't
true.
have that.
Yeah, I guess I'll buy it.
So no, Steel Dragon. Look, as goofy as that looks, I mean, look, Canopy Coaster says that like if you get, I think it was front row ride, it's like really good. So, and I could see it. I could
A
see it.
long coaster.
It's like super long. It is like I said, it is a goofy ride. But I mean, it's got to have a pretty good sensation of speed. I have to imagine. Um,
Decent airtime.
yeah. So, um, whereas a Giga Dive, like the Giga Dive, is gonna have the worst sense of speed of any of the Giga coasters. It's not gonna be close. Uh, I will just say that. And I'm just kind of like, if you build a Giga coaster, I feel like it's kind of important. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they incorporate it into the layout, but it'll probably have a mid course after like the first element or two. So I'm not holding out much hope for it. In terms of that, like I said, it'll still probably be great, but over Texas execs watching this, I mean, they shouldn't be listening to me at all. I mean, the coaster's gonna do probably fantastic. I mean, and so it definitely is like a great addition, and in terms of like their lineup, and like it's gonna do awesome. Like if I were in their shoes, it'd be like, yeah, I'd green light this. Um,
Just make sure to get B&M on those tolerances.
but I mean, has it really affected the success of their other coasters? Though is the thing. I don't really know that it has. So, do we think the new Great Adventure Coaster will open in 2027? Uh, I think the idea that they delayed it because it's some other coaster is unlikely. I think it is going to be that tower coaster, which is a massive project. I think there's, tariffs and other potential shipping problems are probably the main reason for this delay. So I am expecting it will be the mock tower coaster. Um, I don't believe it was delayed because uh, they went back and they're gonna actually improve upon it because people wanted it. Because basically like a bunch of enthusiasts wanted it. That's not really gonna change their minds. And honestly, I mean, yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna say I will. So are you saying the weird thing is they were like intentionally vague with the beyond 2026, which I just found interesting. I could see a world where maybe they actually do open it in 2026, but they don't want to commit to it. But if you're saying if it'll open by 2027, I will buy that. So, or like I guess it's not a buy or sell, but for the purpose of this, I will say buy.
I think it probably will open by the end of 2027. I think I can tell this project is like a top priority for corporate Six Flags, and so they're trying to like accelerate it as much as possible. Even though, yeah, it's gonna get delayed from their initial promise, but I think they're still like on it. Um, I still have hope that it's that it's something other than that tower coaster. Uh, but I wouldn't be totally surprised if it was that because that proposal showed up before, so they probably have the idea. I don't know.
So do you think do you think it'll open by 2027 though at the end of the
Yes.
day? All right. I don't know that it necessarily will reach that 456 foot mark. And if you want my opinion, I would have went with a B&M Giga personally. Um, but they may have gone a different route, and we'll see how that goes. Oh, not even may have. They did because it's a launch coaster. So some people are saying, oh, they left out the launch coaster. It's like, do they really have to mention it's a launch coaster in the thing that says it's delayed? I'm like, they don't really need to. It's like their big new coaster got delayed. They like. I don't know why people are reading that much into that. Maybe I'm wrong and it actually does mean something, but I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna grasp at straws there like people are doing. No offense. I mean, I feel harsh. I feel like I'm almost like trashing on like Great Adventure fans. I mean, you guys have had it rough for the past few years. So, like, no doubt about it. If you're locals, like, I mean, and this news obviously unfortunate, not entirely too unsurprising, but maybe a little bit because they began teasing that this ride was under construction a few days ago and potentially got blindsided by this on their end. Because I don't know that you necessarily do that if this news is, this is coming.
Yeah, wasn't there like rebar on the site or something like
Mhm.
that? So they're at least pouring the foundations.
It might just be a massive project that's going to take a while. So, um, I don't. It will not be
They got
taller
big
than
shoes to
Falcon's
fill,
flight.
so.
It will not be taller than Falcon's flight.
Oh
that,
no.
that is not happening.
I don't think they
Um,
would even have the land to try and build something like that. They might. I don't know.
yeah. So I just saw this. Buy or sell Flash of Discovery Kingdom, which you don't know was spotted testing, I believe, a few hours before the stream started. Uh, Today. So that is obviously good to see. I posted that on my story. Doesn't close down for an extended period again. Oh boy, 5 years is still a while, and we know this thing has been on and off. Um, I am unfortunately going to sell it just because we've seen this Flash go through refurbs and reopen and then be on hiatus and reopen and be on hiatus. So I feel like hopefully this will last a little longer, but 5 years is very ambitious to be honest. I mean, even then, like if you really think about it, like a lot of coasters that you wouldn't think as unreliable could go down for an extended period of time just for whatever reason within the next 5 years, just like any given one. Like, so yeah, I think Flash will probably happen. So I'm gonna sell.
Um, can I buy the last for 5? Oh, I guess that kind of defeats. I was gonna say, can I buy the 5 years
No, I
part
think
and
that's
sell the
fair.
extended period part?
That's fair if you want to do that.
Because it might be closed. I feel like, see, my hope is with this I guess refurbishment or renovation they're doing, it'll have a similar reliability to Top Thrill 2. Um, but I don't know if that would be possible. I think it might be worse. Um, let's see. I think the extended period part might outweigh the 5 years part. So I'm gonna say sell.
I also don't love its chances for lasting 5 years, to be completely honest, because I feel like if it has another like extended downtime period again, that's probably it. I would have to think. Um, I just have to think at that point. But who knows? That would obviously be awesome to see that it is around for another 5 years. You're learning the ride. That's awesome. So great to hear that. Um, Shout out Gilroy Gardens. Um, and the singing veggies. Do they actually have? I don't recall that being a thing. But they do have like the garlic mascot and obviously a lot of vegetable themed attractions. Don't recall there being singing vegetables, but
You would know more than me, so.
maybe I missed that. Um, let's see. I know that was like the 15 mark. I'm just looking through and seeing if anything of note came through. Um, yeah, and I think if they keep working on the coaster, assuming this doesn't mean that like this announcement means that like work is like gonna stall. I think we'll probably figure out who the manufacturer is pretty quickly. Right now, it's like not really able to be figured out, but yeah, I think once we get to like footers, it'll be easier to narrow down. That or if a crate shows up on site as well that has the logo on it. um, like what happened with, even though, well, the Hollywood thing was technically already confirmed prior, but for anyone who needed to believe it, the crate on site had the Mock Rides logo that was partially blocked. Which, speaking of which, them getting a mock rocking boat is certainly.
It's a choice.
I'm excited,
Yeah.
but I am kind of worried because I've heard the one at Futuroscope has had plenty of issues, and having one that's indoors is wow, that's wild. I will just say that.
At least they can work on it in any weather condition.
That
if
is
it goes
true.
down.
That is true. It also is very interesting to me to do an indoor mock rocking boat. Just that is very fascinating to me. Because I mean, I thought part of the idea was like it. Granted, they could probably work there's the illusion with the rocking boat that you can't really see the track when it's outside, at least for most of it. But the fact that it's already inside is like you wouldn't be able to see the track anyways. But it does do different maneuvers that like a traditional water ride can't do. So there definitely is reason to have it. It's just fascinating. It's not like officially confirmed, but track showed up on site and it matches with the mock rocking boat track. It certainly isn't for a mock powered invert. That's for sure. Looking at it, so it is pretty crazy if that is what they end up getting. Which, like I said, just based on the picture of the track, very much seems to be what they're gonna get. But I think that is it for the questions. And Jace, if you have any last words, any last things you want to say, go for it.
Well, thank you, Carrick, for having me on the stream once again. I think the last time I did this was last year, and I think that was also before I went to Fuji Q and Tokyo Joypolis, for that matter. So great to be on the stream again. I will say, not that you had any bad segments before, but I really enjoyed these segments that you had for me. I thought they were pretty interesting and really fun. I hope the viewers had fun with these as well. And yeah, I think that's all for me.
Alrighty.
Make sure to subscribe to Carrick. Oh wait, wrong way. There.
Yeah, that way. And likewise, if you haven't subscribed to 808 Coaster Life, all the links are in there in the description. To those of you watching live or afterwards, of course, thank you for watching. And I will see you all next time here on Coaster Hour. See you all.